printing, mailing, and signage partner in the Palm Beaches for over 45 years. Banyan Printing's new metallic ink press adds that extra shine so that your product comes out in glossy gold, sparkling silver, or any other color you want to shine. Banyan Printing is the official printer of Kaiser Athletics and would love to be your official printing partner as well. Order products and learn more about what Banyan Printing can do for your business at banyanonline.com or call 561-586-6220.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Hear that? It's the gentle sound of a waterfall on your hike. And if you were here, you'd take a deep breath of fresh air, if you weren't so winded. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the bugs you wipe from your headlights are all the nature you need. So if you ride, see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Get an online quote in as little as 3 minutes. All from the great indoors. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
ESPN 1063 is presented by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
They can help you if you're in an accident, but your fantasy football team, not so much.
Welcome to Homestead Miami, your home for the racing high life. A track as vibrant and colorful as South Florida. An Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series playoffs doubleheader on Saturday. A Cup Series playoffs showdown on Sunday. And it's all caliente.
Side by side for the race lead.
NASCAR playoffs weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, October 26th and 27th. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Hell of a job, guys.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Packed Thursday night of sports. The Mets win in dramatic fashion over the Milwaukee Brewers in Game 3 of the Wild Card Series on the NL side. And an actual, surprise, an entertaining game on Thursday Night Football. Buccaneers-Falcons in Atlanta. Atlanta takes that one in overtime. It's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 1063, a Friday edition, the second 3-hour edition of Russo and Rizzo in a row. Colin Russo, of course, Mike Rizzo. Christian Cat behind the glass as always. And for the second day in a row, she's okay with coming back. I'm surprised. Christina Costanza joins us now. Tina, what's going on?
I am surprised that I came back a second day. I didn't really have high hopes for yesterday. But it went really well.
Maybe high hopes. Yeah, she was a little like, you didn't know what to expect, and when it came to the energy.
I honestly didn't expect to talk as much as I did. I thought I was.
So you're pleased?
I am. I was very shocked how much I actually was involved in the conversation yesterday, and yesterday's show was going to depend on if I joined today and if I join on Monday.
So you would have told the higher ups here, the people in charge, the Brian Rowitzes of the world in charge of content, hey, I know I'm supposed to come on Russo and Rizzo on Friday first thing, but I didn't like what I had, my involvement yesterday. I don't like the two hosts. I would prefer if I didn't join on Friday. That's what the conversation would have been.
It wasn't going to be like I don't like the two hosts. No, I like y'all. It was more like, hey, like I don't. I'm not involved in the conversation. And again, I know that you were made aware of like this, as I'm joining, not as sports heavy, but I just didn't know how the show was going to go. And I did say, I was like, let's see how Thursday goes because I had the choice of joining. I did not have to join. It was my, decision. So I did let them know. I said I might not join Fridays, depending on Thursday.
She group texted us last night and called us the crazies.
I said had so much fun with I called you guys crazy. You guys are crazy.
You don't like that,
what
Mike?
Do you mean?
I don't like that. I'm not crazy. Might be a little eccentric at points, but I'm not crazy. Like
I
crazy.
Think I
like
think
crazy.
I have a screw loose. I think I have a
like
screw
Colin.
loose.
Crazy is like I don't want to be anywhere near that guy.
No, there's different ways of crazy. There's different crazies. I would
think
say I'm crazy in certain ways.
I totally think I have a screw loose. Well, something's off in the wiring. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being crazy.
You got to stop.
All the greats are crazy. Pacino, he's crazy. De Niro, he's nuts. All these guys are Scorsese. I just named 3 movie guys. But all the greats, George Washington was crazy. All the greats, Picasso, nuts. Machiavelli, crazy. All the greats have a little something off. There's something off with the greats.
I think you're crazy though, like with like how passionate you are about like sports and radio. Like it's not a knock
That's the
on
goal.
you.
That's where we want to be. We want to become great. You need to have something
Like
off.
I don't know. I got the feeling of like Tina's looking at me going, my God, that guy's nuts.
I felt like you were like you weren't as crazy yesterday. Like you were like a level down. I didn't know if that was because I was here. Like maybe it was.
Maybe it's because I got called crazy.
But that's not a bad thing.
So
like be you.
Walking home, late night out.
Be you, Mike. Just be crazy.
Yeah.
It's dark. It's stormy. You're walking by yourself. Behind you see Mike Rizzo.
Yeah, and then
about 10 paces behind.
Oh, that guy's crazy.
You clutching your purse and
Or
running.
or like 2 people walking together. They turn around and see me. Go, my God, that guy's nuts. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of
the cross
right?
the street because of the homeless guy. That's Mike Rizzo.
Look at that
No.
nut. Look at that nut.
No, you guys are just loud. You're very passionate, and I did not know how I was going to fit in to your show.
You don't.
But I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm not the. I'm not. I'm probably not going to be a regular guest on your show unless I have to be.
This is the last time.
Yes, it will start. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have you guys for 3 hours again on Monday, so I might join.
Are you back on Monday?
It's my decision. I'll see after today.
Oh, so the jury's still out. That's crazy.
No, I plan to join Monday.
You plan. We'll see what happens. Well, give us 40 minutes. We'll see if we can change your mind.
Yeah.
This nut.
Tina Costanza, Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, of course, on a Friday edition. Tina, we were talking yesterday, and we were getting a feel for, of course, your affinity towards hot dogs at ball games.
Yeah.
But we were also getting a feel to certain things that, like, you don't really like. And I wouldn't call it a fear. Maybe it's an uncomfortable thing.
Yeah.
But you really got in depth with us yesterday after the show with your sort of irrational fears. And I know you've come up with a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll start with the one with the Jumbotron.
Oh, hang on. I have a story real quick. I have a funny story.
I want to hear
about it.
this.
So, remember when we went to WWE in Fort Lauderdale as a...
this is an intro, yeah.
Yeah. So
why'd you say it like that?
WWE?
Yeah. Why'd you say it like that?
You kind of give the George Bush thing a W.
Yeah, it's
W?
W.
WWE.
Why are you like boom, boom, boom?
Not a W, W.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay. All right.
WWE Monday Night Raw.
When we
let him tell the story.
Yeah, can I? It's nut.
He's never gonna want me to join again.
This when we went to Raw, I looked at a couple of people because like they were doing like the Jumbotron, get your sign up.
Very active fans.
Yeah,
there.
very active fans, and they don't leave early, Colin. Anyway, I looked at a couple of people behind me. I'm like, I'm gonna get us on the Jumbotron, and Tina, before I could even finish, Tina goes, No, you're not.
No.
I'm like, oh. I'm like, all right, I've never seen this side of Tina before. I go. Then I go up to her. I'm like, Tina, what? She goes, I don't like the Jumbotron.
Wow, you snapped at him because of a Jumbotron?
She 110% snapped at me when I said I wanted to get us on
What's
the Jumbotron.
with you and the Jumbotron?
I've never even been on a Jumbotron before, but I never want to be on a Jumbotron.
Why?
I hate the attention. Like it's uncomfortable. Like you never know. I feel like with Jumbotrons at like events, what they're gonna do to you. Like, is it a dance cam? Is it like a kissing cam? Is it they've been doing in some games where they like compare you to a celebrity or like a Disney character.
I feel like that's the best one.
Which
there's
one?
Nothing you have to, the comparison, there's nothing you have
those
to do.
are funny. Most of those are funny.
Like
but
the kiss cam, are you afraid of? Like,
oh my God, that is a fear. I would never want to be on a Jumbotron, period. It was for a kiss cam. I literally like fall to the floor and run away.
What, that bad?
I don't want to be on a Jumbotron, no.
This is not even associated to like a bad experience you had on a Jumbotron.
I
You've
just
never
don't want
even
that.
been on one.
Never been on one. I just don't want that attention whatsoever.
Like when I mean snapped, I looked at. I think I said under my breath. I'm like, God, I didn't know Tina was like that.
Wow, I'm more surprised because we were with a bunch of people that we work with.
Right.
It's not like the camera's gonna zoom in.
It wouldn't have soloed you out like, hey, you do this crazy thing with these crazy people.
Rizzo's never gonna let me down that I called y'all crazy. Yeah, I don't want to be on a jumbotron ever. Ever. I will avoid a jumbotron.
Do you ever get nervous when, like, let's say you're at a game and you have a hot dog and you take your picture, you do your photo shoot, all the garbage that you do with it, and so all of a sudden you got to eat the hot dog, and the cameras are always on.
And it just
that
pans
is weird.
you.
I agree. Mid eating or something like that can be strange because the girl who had the chicken fingers dipping it in the soda, you remember that at the Knick game?
God.
Yes.
She got big off that.
Yes.
That's that would make sense, I think. I think that's a little strange when that happens.
That's really strange. No, anything that I don't want to be on a jumbotron no matter what I'm doing. I hate it. I don't want to be on a jumbotron ever. I will avoid it. I will run away. I will duck down. I will hide my face. I don't want to be on jumbotron.
That's asking for the additional attention if you make an effort to run away because the camera can follow you. The camera's going to be faster than you are.
What? No, I'll go.
I'll
run fast.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the building. They just have to pan it like a couple feet.
They got you. No escape.
I stopped my friends from trying to get on Like I stopped Rizzo from trying to get on jumbotron.
Snap.
I was at a Florida Panthers game with one of my friends and one of our teammates here, and she was trying to get on a jumbotron, and I was like, "Stop waving your hands and
dancing?
stop." It was probably dancing. They were just like doing a jumbotron, like trying to get like fans on the screen, and I'm like, "No, stop! I don't." And she was sitting next to me. I'm like, "No, stop it."
Do you guys have that one friend that always gets on the jumbotron like at games? I do. I
don't get lucky with that.
No.
My good friend John, he had season tickets to the Guardians when we were growing up. His dad had wicked seats behind, third base, and he would always find a way to get us on the jumbotron. No matter what it was, if it was just a dance or like him standing on his chair and screaming or whatever, we would always find our way on the jumbotron.
I've never loved the jumbotron thing either. Listen, I'm not gonna freak out if the camera pans to me. I don't understand the actual fear of it, but I don't get into it.
Just give your Ash Ketchum peace sign and say your piece.
No, they don't just pan off you in 2 seconds. They're on you for like 15, 20.
Well, here's pro tip. You give your peace sign, your Ash Ketchum peace sign, and then you go about your business, and they'll go, they'll.
Well, I hope it never happens to me. I hope I never go on one.
Give a wave, give a peace sign, and then go about your business.
Well, no, the way to get off the jumbotron is to do something explicit, because then they have to get you off the screen.
Oh, okay.
So you see, like
middle fingers or something like that.
Middle fingers, even a step further than that.
No,
yeah. That's how you get off the jumbotron.
No.
I've worked in the cave.
We're in the first segment. Let's not
easy.
get put on
That's
the
what
list.
happens.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
I've worked the
My
job
God,
that people
man.
put the job that puts the people on the jumbotron. I've done that, and it's simple. That's why I get on the jumbotron whenever I want to. I know a guy. Want a free
Where?
TV?
You're a fan of jumbotrons?
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
I don't
saw
like
the
them.
sausage being made. It was amazing. Got a free TV out of it.
Okay. I'm not a huge. I don't really get into it, but I also haven't gotten like lucky, if that's the right phrase, on getting on the jumbotron.
Yeah, I've never done the one where you have to do a dance because I guess I never dance either bad enough or good enough to catch the attention.
Yeah.
But I got other moves.
The engagement ones are rough.
Oh, God.
Ew,
They're fake nowadays.
Ew.
Like
if they do that and somebody's getting engaged, that's rough.
Puke in my mouth. Ew.
That's
like,
gross.
What about
No.
the guys that won't cough up enough money to get the camera on them when they get engaged? They just pay enough money to have the message on the board. Like, happy birthday, Nan and Pop. Congratulations on graduation to the 8th graders at Willow Middle School. And then it's
I still think this is a little...
Patricia, will you marry me?
It's a little too public. Unless it's a little too public.
It's just something I never understood proposing at sporting events. I just think it's so...
You think I have a feeling
What
that
if
if
you
you're
lose?
proposing, no, they're not going to
Lose?
say no to
With the
you
game
on a
or-
jumbotron.
Yeah, what if the team loses?
Oh,
I've seen
Or
it.
it
I got
doesn't matter.
married,
Tina,
but yeah.
I've seen a ton of... I'm like Colin. I've been to a lot of sporting events in my life. I've seen multiple people get left at the altar at the sporting
like they said
event.
no to the
Absolutely.
proposal.
Now, I wonder if some of
Absolutely.
that is for publicity.
Either it said no, Colin, or it's just like couldn't handle the pressure and walked away.
Yeah.
Numerous times.
I'm sure a lot of people don't appreciate that.
No, God, no.
I think it was a Dodgers game this year or a baseball game where it was a big whole ordeal where she said no and then took the drink and poured it on the guy's head. Like, come on now.
Oh, that was planned.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we get
Staged.
further and further away from believing things are real that I don't believe anything.
I like birthday wishes at a game, like on the Jumbotron. That's good because maybe the team will throw you, give you a scup of ice cream or something.
Especially if you're a little kid.
How
I
do they
feel like
know-
for children,
How
too,
would they
that's
know?
fun.
Somebody tells that you tell the team or something like that.
There's
They're
pay
probably-
$50.
you have to pay?
Yes. And it's all public on these teams' websites where I think maybe
I thought you just had to tweet it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Pay to play, Kyle. Pay to play.
yeah, website.
Do you think they give you a scoop of ice cream, a hot dog, a pretzel, something interesting?
No, your prize is seeing your name on the Jumbotron.
Correct.
That's what you get.
Oh.
Mm.
It's never happened to me. I just thought they'd maybe throw the guy a ball, give him a hat, something.
No.
No?
And what about the Jumbotron games? Like the 3 hats, 3-card Monty type deal?
It's a big thing.
See, those are fun.
I like that
I'm
too.
amazing at the magical hats that move around and you don't know where it's at.
But sometimes it's too much. University of Wisconsin, it's at Camp Randall, they do it too much. It's it's part of the game. It's in between quarters, they have a race, the whole thing.
Yes.
I think it's a little too
I
put
love
on.
the hot dog race.
Yeah, I was going to say, Milwaukee
Love it.
lost last night. We won't see that the rest of the year.
Yeah,
Tough.
I wasn't at the game, but yeah.
Well, no, that was separate points.
If there's a hot dog race, who are you going with? Ketchup, mustard, or onion?
Mustard.
I'm going with the different kinds of
Onion,
sausages.
onion always wins.
Whoever starts in third place. after the
Onion,
first
it's
few seconds
always
is gonna
onion.
win.
It's always the correct answer is onion.
Why would you say
Wait.
ketchup, mustard, and onion? What about
That doesn't make any
relish?
sense.
Well, that's where I grew up. I think everyone grew up where I did. My ballpark, Progressive Field, it's ketchup, mustard, and onion for the hot dog race. And I swear, I used to go to a lot of games. Like I said, dad's season tickets, my buddy Johnny's dad's season tickets. There's an 80% clip. The Wise and I did this 80% clip that onion would win when we were there.
So is it like a cylindrical shaped like an onion mascot? That's
No, it
running?
was so ketchup and mustard were boys, and the onion was the girl.
Okay, well, what were they wearing?
You could.
How'd you know?
It
What
was
were they
you
wearing?
check
I mean,
under
it
the
was a-
carriage?
it
A
was
wig?
No, it was it was a costume, guys.
That's what Seacat just asked.
Yes.
So you
Hot
got to
dog
know
co-
the lady under it?
Hot dog costumes, and I every time we went, the 15% of games that we went to at Progressive Field, onion would win 80% of the time.
They get
So
this
we
is
would
real
make
people,
bets.
Though. This is real people, though.
Yeah, real people in hot
Okay.
dog, but obviously it's probably staged beforehand.
Okay, I was
and
thinking
the
like-
Guardians would keep a season ticker of it of how many times onion and ketchup and mustard
Well,
would win.
the Braves would have that thing where they have Mr. Freeze or
Yes, beat the freeze.
Beat the
I
freeze.
love that.
And he would start on the entire outfield, and the person they'd pick some drunk guy out of the stands and have him race starting at halfway. And these guys always are either too intoxicated to run properly, or they're just not in good a shape as this guy, and he just blasts past them.
What I don't understand how the freeze gets that job. If he's that fast, shouldn't he be training for the Olympics or something?
That's probably he probably is training. He's
Side
just,
gig?
yeah,
And-
Yeah.
it's just a game.
Also, did you guys see the Washington National ones with the presidents? I like that one.
Of
a lot.
course.
Yes.
I like that one a lot.
That's a fun one.
I'm still kind of confused. I hate to go back to it. It's ketchup and it's mustard and it's onion. Are these
Right?
hot dogs that have ketchup on them, a hot dog that has mustard, or what?
Dude, I think I just got to show you. Search. You have 4 monitors in front of you.
We're just confused.
Search Cleveland Guardian hot dog race, and you'll see exactly what they look like. Ketchup and mustard are boys, and the onion is the girl.
But why is
And
it
onion would always win when we were there.
But we're confused on why is it onion? Why isn't it relish?
I don't know.
Onion, I feel like is not it is common on some hot dogs.
I honestly like onion on a hot dog a lot.
Onion's kind of hot.
I think that's unethical.
Right. So now you
You're
see it.
thinking-
Onion's cute.
Yeah, onions. Yeah, she would always win when we were there, to the point where my buddy John would start taking bets from people behind him.
I think that's unethical. Onions on a hot dog, it's a little much.
What?
Nasty.
That's a little much.
I'm not a big onion
You guys don't
fan.
like Chicago dogs, then?
I'd get no onion.
I don't believe in Chicago dogs.
What do you mean?
They exist.
You also don't believe in coffee.
He doesn't
so
believe in
I don't
anything.
believe in
can't take
caffeine.
you-
That's not coffee. It's caffeine. I
But-
don't believe in caffeine.
Coffee has caffeine in it.
Well, yeah, but I don't believe in energy drinks.
No, I'm with you there. But black coffee is one of the best gifts to planet Earth.
Black coffee.
Black coffee, correct.
Rizzo
Yeah.
drinks 4 cups a day.
Thanks,
you
Tina, for outing me.
You drink coffee, too.
Thanks,
I
Tina.
drink coffee, yes. And I drink
Appreciate
energy drinks.
You're not safe from that. You drink coffee, C-Cat?
Iced coffee exclusively, yeah.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Yeah,
He
I
drinks a
forgot about
candy
this.
cane.
He
has a candy cane every time
He came in with
wakes
an
up.
iced coffee thing with a koozie on a cup today.
It came in the mail.
I forgot about that.
What
Yeah.
came in the mail?
I walked through the rain today. It was very inopportune and very inconvenient to go to my mailbox today, but I got the message from Amazon that it has been delivered. It's
You paid money for that?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
$17.
A koozie?
A koozie that goes on your
You
iced
get a
coffee.
koozie from the closet.
It doesn't fit his coffee cups, Colin.
You are
In
just
his
showing
defense,
your ass right
now,
now,
I
my
will say
friend.
this. I think he lost a bit of his man card there, but in his defense, C-Cat, I can't tell you how many times I just see your poor iced coffee melt into the
Do you not see the Dunkin' Donuts employees filming a video of the coffees that they make, and they just put it's sugar?
Yeah, that's why I don't. That's why I don't drink it.
Sugar.
Mind
sugar,
your business,
sugar,
Colin.
a syrup.
Oh, I know.
Ice to fill up the
Colin,
halfway.
that's why I drink black coffee. My brother
Tina gets one of those. What's your coffee order?
Well, right now it's seasonal. I got a pumpkin pumpkin
so
cream
you
cold
do
brew
it.
this
Save it.
morning. I
Oh
couldn't
What
say
did
it.
you get this morning?
Just medium iced coffee, caramel, extra cream, no sugar. Quite simple.
Ask me.
You got black coffee.
Thank you.
You get coffee even at a coffee shop.
Well, no, I'll go Americano. You know what Americano is?
No.
It's just milk and espresso. I'll put milk into my coffee every now and then.
Espresso can be served.
Espresso.
Oh,
Espresso.
ew. You say X too, Colin?
Espresso.
It's espresso. Thank you, Rizzo.
All right,
No
ew
problem.
was not the right response. to that.
Espresso. So, Colin, coffee is like, all right, I'm feeling good. Espresso is like, I know if you're listening on the radio, you're
Well,
wired,
I've had it.
dude.
I thought
you're
espresso
wired.
was in shot form.
Wait, so C-Cat?
Don't they have espresso?
Yeah, they have machines. So
I've had coffee once, and it was an espresso when I was in Florence, Italy. I made my own. And I had to.
yeah,
I think
so
one
like
in Rome. But,
espresso is like the next step of caffeine for
right. It's
coffee.
a little more concentrated.
Yes, correct. It's more caffeine and like after dinner. So like if I'm with the family, right, and we got a big night ahead and we go to dinner at
big
like
part
6.
of culture is at the
Yeah,
end of the
yeah.
night.
Like my Italian family, we grew up drinking espresso after
big
our
Italian
meals.
thing. Yeah,
Yes,
it's a big Italian thing.
We grew up drinking espresso. So like for instance, I got my auntie, my cousins, and my grandmother in town this week, and we're gonna go to an Italian restaurant in town. And tonight, since I know I'm gonna be out and about, or rather tomorrow night. Tonight I'm done. But tonight, we have I'll eat my dinner and I'll have some espresso. They'll ask you if you want a double or a single. I'll only do a single.
Is this every time you go out to an Italian restaurant?
Yeah,
or is
if they have it, but like I won't drink the espresso if I plan on just going home and going to bed. Like I'll drink the espresso if we're doing stuff, if we're walking around, if I'm showing them the city, like I will be tomorrow night.
See, I love espresso, but I have it in coffee, but I also love espresso martinis, and then I do it with tequila usually. So
Now, I will say this. As a bartender, the worst thing to make is an espresso martini. It's not even close.
Well, it's delicious, and I order plenty.
Our biggest fear was like dinner rush at like 7, 8 o'clock at my restaurant I used to work at / bar. And you're just going through it. You got food ticket orders. You're pouring up drinks, and you're running like a chicken with their head cut off. And then the one girl sitting there with their 4 friends goes, "Can we have 4 espresso martinis?" You just want to melt.
I've had a vodka Red Bull. Does that count as energy drinks?
Yes.
Yes.
Red Bull is
It's a
count.
Red-
So
it's
I've
a
had,
Red Bull,
I know,
Colin.
but it's just like it's an alcoholic. Whatever. That's the extent of my.
You believe in that?
You had an RBV, Red Bull vodka.
I don't believe in the price, so I don't have it often.
Yeah.
But,
We'd call those RBVs.
Yeah.
How about an Irish trash can, right? So you take a whole lot of liquor, put it in the cup, and they just take a Red Bull upside down, put it in the cup, and it looks like an Irish trash can because it's like, yeah.
Thank you for the update.
Yeah.
I did it. I mean, 3 years probably sober, but Irish car bombs were something too.
Yeah, that's a St. Patty's Day tradition.
It is.
Bombs scare me. I don't, because I don't like beer. So that's a
Spoken like a
problem.
true gentleman.
You don't like sake bombs?
Bombs scare
Anti-bomb. You
Bombs
heard it here
scare-
first.
All right, perfect. Mike Rizzo, Colin Rizzo, we got to get to break. Christian Cat, Tina Costanza joining us. I was thinking about people that are yes men. And you know who always says yes? C-Cat, how about you tell us?
I say yes because I like to stay cool at home. Stay real cool at home. And the only people that can keep you cool, the way they keep you cool, EDS. EDS is yes. Remember that. It's easy. 3 words. 1 acronym. EDSIsYes.com. You got to go there because they are your trusted AC experts in Palm Beach County. I always, when I try to make decisions in life, with anything, food, maybe with a night out, I trust the Google ratings because 500 people say that this is a good spot to go do business. It's probably a good spot to do business. You look at the Google rating for EDS, 4.8 star Google rating with over 760 reviews. EDSIsYes.com. That's EDSIsYes.com. They've been keeping this area cool since 2006. 24/7 support. Doesn't matter when. Does not matter when. Could be a Saturday, could be a Sunday, could be 3 a.m., could be 6 a.m., could be 4 p.m. It does not matter. 24/7 support for my friends at EDSIsYes.com. Timely service, they even book online for all of your AC and plumbing needs. EDS. EDSIsYes.com. They've been keeping this area cool for almost 2 decades now. Make sure you check them out online, EDSIsYes.com.
Is EDS yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Former bartender Mike Rizzo, former camp counselor Christian Catt, current marathon runner Christina Costanza, Colin Russo, of course, ESPN on 106.3. Wow. We mentioned bars. We mentioned going to restaurants. I have no problem going alone. Neither does Mike. Tina has a problem with that. We'll get into that and more next. It's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and if you're starving for football, ESPN 106.3 is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Tonight, we are coming to your city. ESPN High School Game Day will be on campus for Jupiter Christian at American Heritage. We go live at 6.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen. When you need auto repair, honesty and reliability are everything. Trust the home for honest, reliable service since 1970. St. Lucie Battery and Tire. St. Lucie Battery and Tire has all the tire and battery brands in stock for cars, trucks, RVs, marine, power sports, golf carts, everything. Major and minor service repairs, free tire pressure, battery checks. St. Lucie Battery and Tire, over 50 years in our community. And now with 18 full-service locations, West Palm to the Treasure Coast. Go to slbt.com. That's slbt.com.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
They can help you if you're in an accident, but your fantasy football team, not so much.
The annual Boca Raton Bowls ABC Supply Great Chefs Tailgate Showcase, presented by Boca Raton Innovation Campus and CP Group, heats up on Tuesday, October 15th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Join me, Theo Dorsey, with ESPN West Palm at Brick in Boca Raton as dozens of local chefs, breweries, and cocktail masters serve their favorite tailgate classics. Tickets are on sale now. Visit spiritofgivingnetwork.org/events to purchase your tickets today.
Hurricane fans, get ready for one of the biggest rivalries in college football. On October 26th, it's the Miami Hurricanes and the Florida State Seminoles at Hard Rock Stadium. It's an orange out, wear orange, and bring the noise in a game you don't want to miss. The Canes and Knowles, October 26th. Tickets are going fast, so secure yours now by visiting MiamiHurricanes.com or by calling 1-800-GO-CANES.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
It's that time of year again. Preparations are underway for Clinics Can Help's 11th annual Golf Classic at the Wanderers Club. This fun-filled event works to raise money to provide customized medical equipment and supplies to many children in our area in need. Get your foursome together and join the festivities on Friday, October 11th, and make a difference in helping these children live a life of independence and dignity. Register today at clinicscanhelp.org.
She ain't gon' tie me down. Why you on the road? Got it on the shirt, saw the hat, saw the clothes. What you want right now?
Motion man Mooney. Robinson in the backfield. The throw from Cousins. It's caught at the 40. Moving upfield. Hodge, he could go. 10-5, touchdown. That is a winner for the Atlanta Falcons. A career night for Cousins and a breakthrough win for Atlanta.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3, a 3-hour edition today on a Friday. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Catt, and Tina Costanza joining us for the first hour. The first 45 minutes, we'll see how well she feels after this segment.
Well, she likes my bump back music, so
there's one thing that Mike did right.
Yeah.
And he says espresso, so that's another thing.
Well,
Rizzo
and Colin's,
Right.
I think you're Sicilian as well. You got to know that it's espresso.
I don't believe in the
know.
pronunciation there. I don't say it enough.
We're two paisans, man. I can't have you saying espresso, dude.
Theo also says it that way, and so does Dean Thomas.
Well, that's what they're allowed to.
Outside
they
of
probably
the
don't drink it.
Intricacy. I don't drink
Dean
either.
owns a coffee shop.
Nope, never mind.
Yep.
Modern Rose.
And Theo Dorsey drinks coffee all the time here. So
Outside
no
of the
excuses.
intricacies of coffee and the pronunciations attached to it, you mentioned, Mike, that Mike's got family in town. So there's a good reason to go out to dinner, go enjoy yourself. But that doesn't necessarily mean that whenever the only time you could go out to dinner and enjoy yourself is with family or with friends or on a special occasion. Mike especially, I have experience with this as well.
Big time.
We don't have a problem going out and enjoying yourself just one-on-one time alone.
And it started for me my 3 years in Peoria. Like, it was really my first time living on my own, and I didn't know how I would like it. I remember, Colin, when my parents left me in Peoria for the first time, I was scared to live on my own, and then I found out it was the best thing ever, and I won't be living with anyone until they're my significant other. But then that transitioned into, I'm hungry. You know, I'm not trying to sit at the apartment all night. I'm just going to go to my favorite spot and get some dinner. And then I'd sit at the bar, I'd get dinner, and obviously don't drink or whatever, but would be sparking conversation. Next thing you know, I was meeting people. It was fun, made some friends. So I'm a big believer in, like, if you're new to a place, like, just go to like a poppin' place that's around town or in the neighborhood, pop a squat at the bar, get some food, watch a game, and, you know, people watch until someone sits next to you and starts conversation.
Let me follow that up. So, of course, eating at the bar is a little more inviting for one-on-one random conversations.
Right.
Do you ever sit at a table?
Oh, yeah, dude. I am king of getting the table for one. Yeah, we go. Do you have a booth available? I'm booth guy. My grandfather and my brother and cousin, we would always get the booth when we went out to eat. So,
Tina, what's your reaction to this type of philosophy for Mike?
I would never do that.
Booth alone with my AirPods and my phone, amazing.
I just don't understand if I was living on my own, like, why don't you just get takeout and go home and be comfy and watch TV, whatever you want, not have to talk to anyone, just enjoy the food?
You don't have to talk to anybody at the restaurant.
You could talk to your waiter or waitress, and that's it.
But you're just sitting there alone.
So what?
Is it because do you not like the optics of being at a table by yourself?
I think it's because it's a social setting and I'm by myself, and so I just get uncomfortable. Dude. Because I'm very independent, where, like, I don't like to ask for help. I do things by myself all the time. But when it comes to, like, sitting at a bar and having to eat dinner and have a drink by myself, I would not sign up for that or willingly do that. And I have to, because one of my friends is trying to help me, face my fears. And she said, you have until the end of October to go to a bar and sit by yourself and have dinner and enjoy a drink. And if you don't, you have to buy me dinner.
It's HR Anna. HR Anna told her, like, hey.
Well, no one knows who HR Anna is. Well, so that's what we said, a friend.
She works with us. She's
of course.
We're all
friends. Yes.
So Anna's cool with this.
HR Anna.
Are you going to try this?
I have to, or I have to buy her dinner. And I want to do it. I want to face my fears and do it. I already figured out probably the spot that I will go to. But I kind of tested a little bit while I was waiting for my one friend a few weeks ago. And we were sitting at the bar. And I was like, okay, I'll grab, like, just 2 chairs at the bar while I wait for you. And I just had to sit there for 15 minutes waiting for her, and I hated it. Hate every second.
What about an airport?
That
is the most inviting time to eat individually as there can be.
I don't usually, though, like, I haven't been where I have, like, a layover that's long enough to where I have time to, like, sit by myself and eat. I'm usually just, like, grabbing a snack and just
toughing it out, yeah.
Yeah, and just sitting down. Or I'm, like, working. Like, I go every Sunday, basically, to a coffee juice shop and go by myself and go work or I do some sort of work.
It's the same
but
thing.
It's not the same thing because I have something like I'm doing something, I'm working, I'm not, and it's like the setting isn't where like it's welcoming to like go up to someone and talk to them. Like at a bar or a restaurant, like sitting there by yourself, you're usually going with people there. And that's why like, do I go on my phone? I don't want to be on my phone the whole time. Do I watch TV? What do I do? And I would just not willingly do this. I would rather get takeout and go home.
Kyle, order up, man. Get your phone, put your AirPods in, throw on a podcast.
AirPods at a restaurant?
Throw on a TV show, get in your booth.
At a restaurant is a little strange. Maybe a sports bar setting that might work.
Start ordering. I mean, you get in your booth, you set your phone up, you watch whatever you're watching, and then you start ordering. Get your appetizers.
I don't know if I agree with the AirPods.
Why would you do that when you could do that at home with no AirPods in and watch whatever you want and be in your pajamas or be in comfy clothes and have to be by yourself and you can enjoy it? Like, why would you bring AirPods?
You get sick of being at home. You want to go out. I don't know. It gets you out of the house.
I love being home. I love being comfy at home and eating.
Now,
like, I feel like that's like, but again, like some people, like if you're always at home, like I get that, but like I wouldn't go to a restaurant, put AirPods in and like put up my phone.
What? Am I crazy for that?
We can add that to the list, yeah.
C-Cat, what's your perspective on this?
I used to go to the local Chili's in Oklahoma and watch sports after work. So, yeah, I'm kind of down with it. Show up, get some chips and salsa, soft drink, unlimited refills at all these restaurants.
Now,
so I'm in.
Have you either, Mike, I'm going to assume Tina's a no, or C-Cat, have you guys went to a restaurant where there was no TV, it's not necessarily appropriate to put out your phone, and you got to have a solo meal? Has that been done?
No, I would not enter a place with no TVs. I got to entertain my brain. I'm an iPad kid at heart.
Not alone, but like explain.
I've done that a number of times.
Explain not
like it's not like
allowed.
it's not a traditional restaurant where like
explain
it's not a traditional restaurant where there's like TVs and it's like a sports bar.
But explain not allowed to have your phone out.
I mean, it's just like it's not as courteous. I mean, you could probably have your phone out, but like not as courteous to like set something up and watch a TV show or something like that. You know? Are you following? I don't know. Like
a piano bar? Is that what they call it? Like I don't know.
That's a hyper specific.
Like a white table.
I feel like that's when you wouldn't have, or like there's like a live band or something like that, like where.
Well, I wouldn't be there. Can't stand live music.
Well, when I went to Europe, I was watching NFL Red Zone.
My experiences in Europe lend myself to this idea because that's not traditional there. But like even in the United States, I go to places where, I mean, I don't do this often nowadays, but I did it for 35 days 2 months ago. I would go and it's not necessarily the right thing to just be on your phone the whole time. So I just stare.
Just think.
People watch.
People watching soap on.
Yeah.
And me alone, my own thoughts.
And you're just kind of there, and the waitress would always ask, "Are you expecting anybody else?" And I'm like, "I don't think so."
Could be you. And then you play your cards right. I don't know.
Yeah, like what time you get off? No, but ultimately, I don't think. I've had experiences where, like, I could just sit down, have a meal, not necessarily use the phone. And, of course, it is nice when you could sit at a bar and have a phone, strike up a conversation with a stranger. But sometimes I could go through a whole meal, no phone, no communication with, like, it's not like the setting to do that. And you just have a meal and move on with your life.
I find that if there's no visual stimulation while I'm eating, I chow down. I eat too quickly, and then I get a stomachache. The TV gives me a break.
I'm a fast eater.
I'm the fastest eater,
yeah,
I think,
I'm a fast eater.
East of the Mississippi.
I'm okay with that. But I don't know. I think, Tina, I'm excited for you to kind of challenge this because I think once you realize the power of, like, how comfortable your own silence can be, especially in a public setting, not this is saying, like, Tina's silence is a good thing.
Are you afraid of people, like, going, like, oh, my God, that girl's sitting alone?
I'm sure that's part of it. It's like,
is that part of it?
No, not at all. It's more, again, like, I just feel uncomfortable. Like, I'm like, I'm sitting here by myself, and I don't want to be on my phone the whole time, but I don't know what to do. And, like, too, like, I had to do it for 15 minutes, and I was watching college football, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm watching right now or even care about watching this, really. And I'm like, I didn't like it.
Would you go to a concert by yourself?
No.
Would you go?
I'm there. No chance.
Well, I like live music, which is another thing that's insane.
I'd be okay. I went to a folk concert by myself. It was after work. The ESPN Madison studios are next to a place called the Sylvie in Madison, and they have a bunch of concerts there. It's not anywhere near my friends. And they had a folk concert on a Thursday night after I got off of work, and it was like a $5 ticket. I'm like, I got nothing to do.
If I was backpacking Europe by myself like you, I probably would. You know, just
yeah.
if,
But that was
if I saw
Madison.
something
that was
going on.
College.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you put me in that situation. Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
But like, buy a ticket, like by myself here in the States.
Would you go to the movies by yourself?
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
I did go to a UFC event by myself, and I was like so proud of myself.
Whoa.
You'll go to a UFC event.
You won't go to a Subway by yourself
with those
and get a
crazy
sandwich,
people.
and you go to an MMA event.
You call me crazy. You'll go to a UFC fight with those crazy people.
Well, the crazies are in the ring.
And then I disagree.
No, the
ever been to a UFC game or fight?
Okay.
No, dude, they were everywhere.
It was kind of last minute though. So it was in New York at Madison Square Garden, and who I was going with actually was a girl from another like radio station, and she bailed on me last minute. And so I had to kind of face my fears and be like, well, I'm going to this fight. It was a massive fight. And I went by myself. I walked there by myself. I enjoyed the whole fight
Good
by
time?
myself. Huh?
You liked it?
It was great, yeah. But that was like I
something to watch.
Yeah, it was something to watch and whatnot. Dean Thomas was there, and I ended up like meeting up with Dean Thomas.
Well, you didn't go alone then because Dean was there.
Well, okay, he was working. I sat by myself the whole time.
I didn't know he was working.
See, stuff like that, I feel like the point of doing this stuff is to share memories.
I was put in a situation though where I had to be by myself.
If I have a ticket and I could get a ticket and nobody wants to go with me and I want to go, I'm going.
Yeah, like that's where too.
I'm going.
I kind of was like, okay, like I was already going there by myself, but had a friend in New York that I was planning to go with, and then she bailed, and I'm like, well, I'm going by myself because I want to be there.
I'd go to baseball games by myself.
I've been to a baseball game by myself.
I've too plenty of times. Football games. I do baseball, football, basketball.
I wouldn't do a football game by myself. I've been to hoops games by myself. A football game is a little too long.
Dude, football games though, like wherever you sit, you're making friends, no matter what.
That's true.
Unless you're that rooting for the other team the whole time and being.
I haven't been to that many football games that I've had the opportunity to go alone, so I guess I haven't really, explored that. But I think going to the movies by yourself, completely fine. I'd go to the zoo by myself.
That's watch list activity.
What? The zoo?
At what age?
You don't like the zoo. What's wrong with the zoo?
You cannot enter a zoo unless that you have another person or a child with you.
I don't know. I don't know about the watch list thing, but to C-Cat's point, guys, I don't think
not like animals.
I'm 30. I'm going to be turning 30 in October. Thanks. I don't know. I don't think I've been to the zoo since I was 10 years old. 20 years, I think.
I went to the zoo last
20
month.
years.
Who doesn't love the zoo?
I love the zoo.
I think it's been like 20 years since I've been to the zoo.
Got to go with somebody else, though.
You want to know, and Colin, you're going to laugh.
You ever see the orangutans and how perceptive they are? It's incredible.
You're going to laugh. Do you want to know why I don't go to one of a fear I had? Dude, they smell so bad.
Oh, yeah.
A zoo smells so bad. I remember just looking at like my dad or my mom, whoever the heck I was with, I was like, it stinks in here. It smells. Every exhibit we went to, I just complained that it smelled like you know what.
Now, the Madison, Wisconsin Zoo is free. So you could just walk in and go. It's like
on
a
your lunch
park.
break.
Nah, I don't go on. I went. It was a good time. I don't understand why that is such a problem.
I love the zoo in
Be
general.
comfortable.
The zoo's great, but you got to go with
care.
somebody
it's not
else.
A social event.
It is. Like it
You're
is with the person you go with.
hang out with the animals. What are you doing? The animal? Like you throw stuff? Like, I don't know. It's great.
Have you guys ever watch Robin Big?
Yeah,
Yes.
R.I.P.
One of my favorite episodes was when they were like in the beginning of their episodes, they would like have like funny clips of like them doing something really quick. One of my favorite ones was when like Rob was just throwing the melons into this hippopotamus's mouth. He was just smashing it in one bite.
Who doesn't?
Are you 9?
It was hysterical. Granted, when Robin Big came out, I was like 12, So yeah, I laughed hysterically at it.
Would you go to a comedy show by yourself?
I'm not. I think I've told you guys this. I'm not a stand-up comedy guy.
I would. I think that's awesome.
well, when
you're
you
asking.
lose
You're
to
asking to
theoretically
get
speak-
targeted.
I just think
love
I'm
it.
funnier. I just think I'm funnier than all those guys.
Oh God.
Well, when you-
You're definitely not.
when
I
you
just think I'm funnier than
when
all
you
those people.
lose the contest with theoretically speaking, you're gonna have to do it.
Who says we're losing?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on theoretically speaking's team, so
Yeah.
Tina's
You
got
not
a
not
doing
doing
segment
it.
to go.
I'm
Picks
not
for them?
doing it, but I'm rooting for them.
Are you making pics of them?
No, I'm not. I'm rooting for them though.
We consult
Why are
Tina
you rooting?
every
They-
Thursday.
They asked.
Because we're crazy?
What do you mean? I'm on theoretically speaking, so I'm totally on team theoretically speaking. But I will not be a part of the stand-up comedy. I'm just rooting for them. And Dean Thomas and I said we're gonna throw tomatoes at y'all.
What about the beach by yourself?
Oh, I do that weekly.
Time
I
out.
go to the beach by myself all the time,
Time
but that's
out.
different. It's like no one's there.
I have a problem with that.
Why?
With what?
I'm on their show.
She should be, if they lose, she should be on the card.
I'm not doing picks, though. And I haven't been doing picks at all.
Yeah.
So,
She's
sorry.
like, it's just
Sorry.
she's rooting for a team.
I'm just rooting for them.
She's on the show.
She'll probably be there. I don't know.
Yeah, I will be.
Russo and Rizzo. Wow. Presented by our pals over at the Boca Raton Bowl. The annual Boca Raton ABC Supply Great Chefs Tailgate Showcase presented by the Boca Raton Innovation Campus and CP Group heats up on Tuesday, October 15th. From 6 to 8:30 p.m., join ESPN West Palm's Theo Dorsey at Brick and Boca Raton as dozens of local chefs, breweries, cocktail masters serve their favorite tailgate classics. Tickets are on sale now. Includes all food samplings, entertainment, beer, wine, cocktails, and soft drinks. Visit spiritofgivingnetwork.org/events to purchase your tickets today. An actual entertaining Thursday night football game went down yesterday between the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a 36-30 overtime victory. Thank God. Thursday night football finally took a turn. Our NFL offense is back. We get into that more next. And Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
This is ESPN 106.3, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Find official rules for all your favorite ESPN West Palm contests by visiting ESPNWestPalmContests.com. That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3, the ESPN app, and streaming on your smart speaker.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
Welcome to Homestead Miami, your home for the racing high life. A track as vibrant and colorful as South Florida. An Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series playoffs doubleheader on Saturday. A Cup Series playoffs showdown on Sunday. And it's all caliente.
Side by side for the race lead.
NASCAR playoffs weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, October 26th and 27th. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Hell of a job, guys.
Sports fans, it's the best time of the year. It's fall when everything is happening. Football's back. Fighting gets real. Baseball playoffs. Get ahead of the action. Plan your time now to be at Twin Peaks, the ultimate guys lodge, the ultimate sports lodge. Never ever recover to watch any fights, any MMA, UFC, or boxing pay-per-views. Always watch for free. Of course, the eats, the drinks, the signature scenic views, and of course, Twin Peaks 29-degree ice-cold beer made from scratch favorites like their burgers, wings, mozzarella bites, and so much more. Happy hour weekdays. Take advantage of $5 man-sized drafts. And remember, never ever pay a cover to watch any of the fights. Your official UFC fight headquarters is your official football headquarters all week long, all season long. Eats, drinks, scenic views, 29-degree beers. Twin Peaks, the ultimate guys lodge for everything sports.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Rolling on here, Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, of course, behind the glass. Big thanks to Tina Costanza, who joined us for the first two segments of this very program on a 3-hour special of Russo and Rizzo. A lot going on, of course, the MLB side of things, the Mets, the Miracle Mets, a team of destiny. Feels crazy to call the Mets a team of destiny. We went from that game in a dramatic fashion, 4-2 victory for the Mets. They move on to play the Phillies 4:08 first pitch on Saturday. And then you shift to Thursday Night Football, which has generally and usually terrible matchups. Teams are not, one or both teams are not into it. Guys are hurt, and the product usually stinks with a bad broadcast. But yesterday, I think to the surprise of many, and even to the surprise of the guys doing the game, Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, the Atlanta Falcon Buccaneer game it almost reminded me of that, not as good, of course, but that Chief Ram game in 2018 on Monday Night Football, where it was like 51-48, and it was just nonstop offense. That's what this game felt like.
A little stretch there.
I agree. That's one of the better games I've seen in the NFL. But my point is, every time I turned around, a team was in the red zone. Oh, yeah. I've never, and you're in and out, you're watching both games, so you're not paid attention to every drive. But all of a sudden, they score. 2 minutes, I'm watching the Met game. I turn back, and the other team's in the red zone. I mean, how the hell did I get to the red zone already? A ton of offense, 36-30 final. Kirk Cousins finished with over 500 yards passing.
Five football fields. Darn near almost threw for 6.
500-plus yards passing. That's the first time since Joe Burrow did it in 2021 against the Ravens. That is no easy feat. There's been a handful of quarterbacks that have ever accomplished that. And Kirk Cousins did it yesterday, 42 of 58 passes, my God. 509 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That 1 interception came on a 4th and 15 late game, and it wasn't a great play. But what are you supposed to do in 4th and 15? You got to throw it anyway. But nonetheless, our offense is back. We talked about this yesterday.
We're back, baby.
Offenses were dead in the water. We asked Mike Tannenbaum about it, and he said the NFL, the first 4 weeks of the preseason, there might be something to that. Right. Week 5 underway, all of a sudden, 2 offenses that you couldn't stop them.
I think the nuances of what teams like to do are out there as well. Or rather defenses, the tendencies of what defenses are doing, I think, are out there too. How's that whole double high safety take by Mel Kiper look now?
Yeah.
I mean, just throw the ball underneath, take your 10 yards, and take your first downs. How many Captain Kirk threw for 50 times last night?
Yeah, 58 times.
My God, dude.
That might be a little too much.
10 yards
too much.
I'm playing fantasy football, and it was nice. I had the kicker for the Bucs, and I had Drake London, who finally had his show-out game.
I feel like fantasy owners have been waiting for that Drake London game for 3 years. He's been in this is year number 3 for Drake London.
It felt good. Yes. Fresh air.
Yes.
What I liked about that game is it was fair. It was close the entire way. One team scored, another team scored. One team got held to a field goal, the other one did. And for that, to me, at the very least, it's entertaining. I'm a little over the defensive battles, the 13-10 final score. I'm happy that we saw some offense yesterday. Hopefully, the rest of the NFL takes a bit of notice, and you can see some actual, the beauty of going down the field.
Well, just like how you made the comparison to the Chiefs-Rams game from a while back, I think the reason why you got those vibes were because it was two teams and two franchises and two quarterbacks where you haven't seen that level of success in the past 5 years. Kirk Cousins, fresh face, new place, that offense, finally using all those weapons. I mean, freaking Kyle Pitts actually did something last night, 88 yards, I believe. And Baker Mayfield, fourth stop. It's refreshing to see new faces putting up ridiculous numbers.
Yeah, Mike Evans had a big game. Plus 145, the Mike Evans anytime touchdown last. I remember that was one of the last things I asked both of you about when we did our Hard Rock stuff. Wish I would have taken it. I didn't have enough what to take it. I wish I would have taken it.
Yeah, and the one thing I'll say is the one thing that sours the end of that game was that missed face mask call they had on Bucky Irving late in the game.
God, it always goes back to the referees somehow, right?
They're always involved in some capacity, but in a lot of ways, the Falcons missed their field goal. They had that terrible third down drop by Darnell Mooney. Maybe
and he played well.
He
played well.
He did. But that face mask was a big missed call. It took him out of field goal range. They would have hit the field goal. Game would have been over.
But that's splitting hairs because he tackled the football in the hand.
Yeah,
and
his head was going down.
Yep.
The thing is, it wasn't turned in another direction.
Yeah.
But when you see it, his head was going with his body. But that's the only gripe I really have. Other than that, has Kirk Cousins. We talked about Mayfield yesterday. Mayfield played really well. But Kirk Cousins, I think, unbelievable. Talk about a guy who is playing himself out of the primetime dark cloud. Nobody has been plagued by primetime more than Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And
that Monday Night Football against the Eagles, where he went right down the field to end the game, and this one. I think that's pretty freaking impressive. And they had that great gutsy last play in the fourth quarter to spike it with a second left.
Oh,
gutsy play.
The thing I wanted to see from Kirk his entire career, I feel like, kind of the consistency, right? He'll do this. He'll throw for like 5 touchdowns, 500 yards. Obviously, this was the most he's ever thrown, but like he'll throw 303 tutties, and the next week he'll throw for $140 and no touchdowns and an interception.
You saw it in Washington too.
You need consistency from Cousins, and obviously the knock on him is the lack of playoff success and rather lack of even being able to get to the playoffs.
He had that one playoff win, but yeah, I understand.
He did, but I liked our conversations yesterday of, where do you rank these guys? And we kind of both had Cousins and Mayfield at like the 11, 12 range. I don't know, man. Maybe it's time to give those guys a speed boost forward.
One thing I give Cousins credit for is fourth quarter effectiveness. Stafford's great at this as well. Maybe it's the experience talking. Mahomes, of course, is the top of the line in terms of getting down the field late game. Allen's usually pretty good at it. But Stafford and Cousins specifically, guys who have a ton of experience going down the field to either need points, go ahead drive. Cousins has had I think 3 this year alone. I mean, I know he got the call in the game on Sunday. Who'd they play? Whatever. But they had the Saints. I mean, no, the Saints. Excuse me. The Falcons had that call that got them into field goal range, and he didn't really complete a pass on. It was on Paulson at Debo. That was it. But he got the pass interference. He got into field goal range there. Won the game on that end, and that, of course, that terrific drive against the Eagles on Monday Night Football. That Kirk Cousins went down the field for that as well. He did it again here. Cousins is, when he needs to be, has been reliably clutch.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's the one. Obviously, there are a number of things you want in a franchise quarterback, but the questions I used to ask myself as a miserable Brown fan was, who's going to lead us to score with 2 minutes left? Who's going to be able to get the 2-minute drill down pat? And Justin Fields, by the way, couldn't do that in Chicago. And that was a huge reason we talked about in Peoria was Fields can't do the 2-minute drill. Fields, and the people would bring up the numbers and his record when losing by 3 or more. Like, I feel like that's the breaking point for people with quarterbacks is you're in these games. It's the NFL. A lot of these games are close. Which quarterback is going to get you over the hurdle and win the game late in the game?
I think that's to that point. There's like a second standard, another attribute that you could bring to a quarterback's good.
Right.
Now is he clutch? Does he perform to a higher level in the fourth quarter? Of course, we know Brady is the best of the best at bringing a team down the field.
Who else was good? Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
How many times did I see Big Ben do that with the Steelers?
Bringing teams methodically down the field. And when you need it the most, that's the Kirk Cousins has it. I thought Aaron Rodgers has had many moments where he didn't do it against the Denver Broncos, but that's another story, another day. But from what I saw from Cousins on a leg with the torn Achilles, that is probably getting a little better each and every week. The Falcons are trending upward. They've been in every game. He did it against the Chiefs. And if you want to call that pass interference on Pitts, that might have been a different game. This team might be 4-1. But I know that's a what if. But at the end of the day, he put them in a position down the field. Cousins has had a very, very underrated year. And I think yesterday, finally, with the statistics, was a little bit of a showing out party for Kirk Cousins. I give him credit.
The football nerd in me goes back to the play that you mentioned earlier. 12 seconds on the clock. They're not running an offensive play across the middle of the field with Desmond Ridder. They're not doing that with Marcus Mariota. They would probably go back to Matt Ryan is the last quarterback the Falcons had that they would do that play with. It showed so much confidence in your quarterback, and he showed them that they were right.
That's how far back we have to go, by the way, with that team. Matt Ryan. And I could argue Matt Ryan, the final 2-3 years he was in Atlanta, he was glue factory as it was. So maybe this is exactly what Atlanta needs. And maybe they don't look as foolish, I guess is the word I'm looking for. They don't look as foolish for taking a quarterback in the first round and taking Kirk Cousins. Now, I don't think it helps that Penix is already 24. How old is Penix going to be by the time he gets to be the starter? How long is that Kirk contract? 2 years, 3 years?
4 years.
2-3 years or whatever. So
Kirk Cousins with a monumental 509-yard explosion on Thursday Night Football yesterday. Baker Mayfield, of course, played a winning football game. Just things didn't turn out their way. A Bucky Irving fumble did not help them in that regard in the last drive of the game. But it's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3. We continue the conversation, and the NFL offense is back. 888-760-3776. Our reactions to Thursday Night Football. We continue next. It's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
It's that time of year again. Preparations are underway for Clinics Can Help's 11th annual Golf Classic at the Wanderers Club. This fun-filled event works to raise money to provide customized medical equipment and supplies to many children in our area in need. Get your foursome together and join the festivities on Friday, October 11th, and make a difference in helping these children live a life of independence and dignity. Register today at clinicscanhelp.org.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections, and I'm committed to the integrity and accuracy of our elections. Election Day is November 5th. To vote in the 2024 general election, you have to be registered by Monday, October 7th. Registering is easy, and you can do so online at www.registertovoteflorida.gov, by mail, or in person at any one of our 4 offices or a voter registration agency. Your vote is your voice, and we're here to make it count. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections.
Attention business owners, the next several months are going to be super busy. Why not let us take some of the burden off of you? Get the help you need from Intelligent Office in Palm Beach Gardens. Professional live receptionists to answer, screen, and forward all of your calls to you live. Why do you need a virtual assistant? No high salaries, no holidays or sick pay, no call-outs, no turnover, and no additional equipment. Call 561-472-8400 or visit intelligentoffice.com to learn more how we can help you streamline your day.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies. Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and we're heading into October. Are you ready to make some money betting on sports? Go to fatjacksports.com. Basketball season starts at the end of the month. Players, props, soccer, and of course, college and the NFL. Profit coming your way through a personal portal and emailed to you each day. Consistent winning plays that are then posted and documented at fatjacksports.com. Less than $100 a week for longer packages to actually build profit betting on sports. Go to fatjacksports.com and win.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to helping the customers and the communities they serve move forward financially. See how they can make a difference for you at PNC.com.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by two words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
The quality of our choices affects the quality of our lives. So, when it comes to how you move, do you choose to see a doctor or go to the #1 orthopedic specialist in the world, backed by a team who custom tailor your treatment? Do you choose to live with limitations or live life to the fullest by going to the place that's #1 at getting people back to what they love? Choose better, move better. Locations in West Palm Beach and Wellington. Learn more at hss.edu/Florida.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
You know, we thought the NFC South would be sort of open season. But it sounds like with just a bunch of teams that everybody beats down on, it sounds like we're wrong on that front. The NFC South has a couple teams that are well in the mix of playoff teams. Let's put it that way. Not contention, but playoff teams. Russo and Rizzo live here on ESPN 106.3. Colin Rizzo, Mike Rizzo now behind the glass. Christian Cat, of course, has high school game day tonight.
This ought to be interesting.
This will be interesting.
This will be very interesting,
C-Cat, you'll hear him on the call tonight with, I believe, Jamel Murray, the head coach of Atlantic football. Dr. Joaquin Garcia playing host to Wellington. 6:30 on that. Mike and I will be in the studio for that for the pregame and postgame show. But nonetheless, Thursday Night Football came and went yesterday. Week 5 officially underway. A 36-30 victory for the Atlanta Falcons over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kirk Cousins, a 509-yard explosion. Baker Mayfield still played a good game. 180 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, high completion percentage. It's a tale of offenses. Who got the ball last? The overtime rules, of course, favored the Falcons. They went right down the field. And I think this has been a strange resurgence of the NFC South based on what we've seen. But it's Russo and Rizzo live here on ESPN 106.3. Got a lot of stuff going on this weekend in terms of events, but join Bud Light and the ESPN West Palm Street team, at Bonefish Max in Port St. Lucie this Sunday, October 6th from 1 to 3. Watch the Miami Dolphins take on the New England Patriots, and you'll get a chance to win Bud Light prizes or qualify for Miami Dolphins tickets. Bonefish Max is going to have drink specials, including $15.99 buckets of Bud Light, and Michelob Ultra. You must be 21 or older to participate. Southern Eagle reminds you to please drink responsibly. We'll see you at Bonefish Max on this Sunday from 1 to 3. Don't miss that. Mike, the NFC South, I think if you asked us, 5-6 weeks ago, we would have told you, hey, we're going to rank them. You're going to have the AFC North up there. You're going to have the NFC North up there. And I think the NFC South would be damn near the bottom. Now, all of a sudden, there's a bit of a reconsideration that has to occur now.
It's not bad. I mean, I think they're top heavy. I think they're top heavy with the Buccaneers and Atlanta. I'm not there with New Orleans. I mean, that Klint Kubiak offense was unbelievable for the first 2 weeks of the season, but I feel like that's kind of taken
Jury's
a
still out
backseat.
on them.
Yeah, and that Eagle game specifically, at home, I thought they'd find a way to win that game in a close game. They weren't able to. And then, obviously the Panthers being dreadful. I think both of those teams
Buccaneers and Falcons are definitely two playoff teams.
And that's what I was about to say. That's where I was going next. I think Tampa Bay and Atlanta are probably going to make the playoffs, especially with how topsy-turvy the NFC has been. I thought the NFC East were going to get 2 playoff teams in Dallas and the Eagles. That could very well still happen. And I don't want to get the Eagle fans all angry at me, but I question if the Eagles can make the playoffs. I question if they can make the playoffs at this point with a couple of the things that we've seen. So, and then Dallas, I didn't necessarily agree with them, but we had Chris Canty, our very own Chris Canty of Unsportsmanlike, talking about tanking and the Cowboys tanking, which I completely disagreed with, but they're not playing up to par either. The 49ers, they started the season slow this year. The Lions have turned the ship around, but they lost the game earlier. They had some questions, I feel like, with Jared Goff turning the ball over a few times, but the NFC is a little bit wide open. And you could kind of say the same thing about the AFC, too, with how bad the AFC North has been.
I think it's just, but the problem is they have the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are always that cloud over everybody else.
I think I was a huge fan of Buffalo going into the year, and I know a lot of people at our station, Colin, weren't. I'm not saying you weren't, but, Theo was waxing poetically about the Jets. There are a lot of people who are very high on the Jets. I still have to remind everyone that the Bills have Josh Allen, and the Bills have won that division a crazy number of times in recent years. So I think when you look at the AFC, it's the Chiefs, it's the Bills, and then after that, a whole lot of teams that are similar. I mean, the Bengals, they finally won a couple, some games. The Ravens seem like that they've kind of turned the corner a little bit with that big win against the Bills on Monday Night Football. But I'm not ready to say that they're on the level of the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs at this point.
We'll dive into this a bit later in the show, but breaking news on the MLB side of things. It has been announced officially by the Mets that Kodai Senga, the Japanese pitcher, is not only back, but starting Game 1 against the Philadelphia Phillies, has pitched one game all year, July 26th. Went out after 5 1/3 inning with a calf strain. We haven't seen him since. That is one start all year. He is going to be taking on the Phillies, 4 o'clock on Fox.
Didn't Scherzer, who did this for the Rangers last year? Scherzer?
Yeah, Scherzer got back in the mix.
I like Senga. I think he's got elite stuff. I think
this is risky. It's risky.
This is very risky. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it personally if I were the Mets. Colin, is this a desperate move?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I think this is where, the Mets are the Mets. Are we banking on our own mojo a little bit?
That's what I mean. We talk so much.
Let's ride on the magic.
We talk so much about theme. We talk so much about mojo. Is this going against that? Like, there's an old saying that I learned from Terry Francona. You ride with the horses that got you there. Senga isn't one of the horses that got him to this point. So that's why I question it a little bit.
Second season in the bigs, only pitched one, but was decent in that start against July 26th. It's hard to get a gauge. But Kodai Senga will be starting Game 1 for the Mets. After they went with David Peterson, who would have been slated as the starter in Game 1, yesterday to close the game up 4-2. He only pitched like 7 or 8 times, but nonetheless, I think they want to give him that extra day's rest. This is a fascinating move by the Mets. You're right. In terms of stuff, he's probably the top of their rotation in terms of top upside. And he was great last year.
What's that, ghost ball? What is he called?
The ghost fork.
It's awesome. I mean, he's got elite fastball stuff, too.
This is interesting because the Phillies now have had a week off. They had no idea that he was back in the mix here. And all of a sudden, you got to prepare for a guy you haven't seen all year. You don't know how healthy he is. You don't know how well he'll pitch. But if the Mets are going to do anything here, they're banking on their own magic, and for better or worse. For one, they could have went Trevor McGill and then survived through a bullpen game and try to scratch and claw their way through. I'm not sure if that was the right move, especially against Wheeler. Maybe they're just trying to harness, control the magic, and direct it. They haven't been able to control it after Monday and Thursday. Control and harness the magic.
Colin, I'm not bullpen bullpen day guy in the playoffs.
Not when you played this much. Not when you played this much.
And even if you do have a good bullpen, I still, you're really taxing your arms. God forbid you have a bullpen game, and then the next game your guy gets shelled, your starting pitcher gets shelled in the first or the second inning. You're really taxiing, that bullpen.
888-760-3776. Kodai Senga officially back for the Mets. Will be starting game 1 against the Philadelphia Phillies. Hasn't pitched since July 26th. Has 5 innings on the year. Carlos Mendoza and the Mets, who won in dramatic fashion yesterday, going with Kodai Senga. Fascinating move, a risky move. But that makes that game a whole lot more interesting.
It is, and you talked about magic with the Mets. I think Pete Alonso was at bat with Harry Potter's wand last night. I mean, what a home run. What a series, too. You had the Chirrio night on game 2.
And game 1 when they had there was a back-and-forth game through the 5th inning, and then they pulled Peralta early, and all of a sudden they get killed. That is a fascinating series. It really was. I thought the Mets were dead. I thought they were so dead.
You think Pat Murphy kind of bottled a couple of things last night?
I think he was fine in game 2 because that pinch hit to Mitchell instead of Hoskins got them at homer. And then yesterday, going Peralta was the right move. Any manager in baseball probably would have done something similar. And he went with Devin Williams, the best closer in baseball, maybe other than the Class A. But the best closer, probably most consistent in the bigs. This is not a Pat Murphy problem.
I agree, and we talked about that. Colin, I remember talking on one of the final segments of the show with you, we trust Williams more so than what the Mets have to close games out. Sometimes the guys that got you there just don't pan out.
Wow.
And how about that?
And Williams was good post-game, too.
He
took a lot of accountability.
Time.
Good post-game.
Big time. And you have to be in a situation like that.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I can't believe that the Mets are doing this stuff. This is going to be a fascinating series. John O'Terry, one of our MCs in the office here, is a big Philadelphia Phillies fan.
He had his rally rag over his desk today.
And he's screaming that, he's not worried about the Mets, and I'm not nervous. They're going to blow the doors off them. The Phillies are so good. The Mets have a storyline attached to them that is dangerous. It happened with the D-backs. Might happen again with the Mets.
A lot of divisional matchups, right? My Guardians got the Tigers. We got that one.
And then you got the Padres, Dodgers. Yeah. And then you get the Phillies back.
Honest to God, is this Dave Roberts' biggest nightmare facing off, which I think is one of the hottest teams in baseball with the Padres?
Yeah, I think
it's a nightmare.
Yeah, and the Padres are not afraid of them either.
And they beat them. Yeah. The last time they played them in the playoffs,
2 years ago,
they beat them.
Yep. So this is going to be a fascinating weekend of baseball. It all goes off tomorrow. I like the day, and we'll get into this a little later, but do you think the MLB mishandled how they scheduled with no games tonight?
I think so.
You think so?
What are we watching tonight?
I like the empty day of anticipation.
We're
watching Joaquin Garcia, Wellington tonight.
Correct. Hey, man, we're here all night, baby. We can't wait. We're pulling it all night. I brought my sleeping bag. Intern Colton over here brought his as well. We're having a party here.
So that's why I'm selfishly, that's why I'm okay with it. But on top of that, I like the day in anticipation. This is the Mets day.
And I think college football, what is it, Michigan State and Oregon tonight? We have a Friday night matchup, believe it or not, as well. We got the Ducks and Sparty. So maybe they didn't want to compete with college football. I don't know.
Kodai Senga hasn't pitched in 3 months. Wow. But, when he's on it, when he has his stuff rolling, one of the more talented upside pitchers in professional baseball. But it's sort of an unprecedented move to bring him back for game 1 like this. A guy with not necessarily the postseason experience of a la Scherzer or Kershaw, which has been done in the past, or Strasburg. But this is more so, this is a guy who's, in a lot of ways, completely unproven in a big game. But I think the Mets had their backs against the wall a little bit. Diaz went deep in multiple games this series and went deep over the weekend. I think they wanted to give him some rest. They need to preserve their bullpen a little bit.
And is this like a move to kind of throw a wrench?
Probably.
You know what I mean? Throw a wrench into the plan of what they were going to do?
I really think there's something to the good luck charm. The Mets
That's what I mean.
I saw the pumpkin that Pete Alonso has that he got from Milwaukee last weekend. That's another good luck charm they have. They have 1,000 of those things. I think they're just trying to maximize the luck. They're using it as fuel.
And they've seen other wildcard teams of Christmas Ghost Pass in the playoffs have success. And I think they understand that they could easily make a run all the way if they play their cards right. I think more or less the Senga move is, here you go, Philly, deal with this. We have no idea what this
Good
guy
luck.
is going to do.
Yeah.
You don't either. Best of luck.
I agree. And if Senga comes out there and screws the pooch and is terrible, honestly, I'm okay with it. And because they're going against Wheeler anyway.
Agreed.
So Wheeler's, if you could get a scoreless through 6 or one run through 6, you're taking that.
Dude, the Phillies have the best 1 through 3 in the playoffs with Nola, Wheeler, and Suarez. Is that the best?
It probably
1
used
through
to
3?
be the Padres, but with this Joe Musgrove injury, now they're going to turn to Darvish. They're in some trouble now.
It's not that you hate Darvish. You don't believe in Darvish anymore.
I love Darvish.
You don't believe in Darvish.
I've watched this movie before. Darvish is terrible in a big game. I am not giving him the ball.
Cease and Michael King. How about King?
Terrific. So this is good. Zach Wheeler, Kodai Senga tomorrow. That game's got a lot of juice, and we didn't even bring up what we saw yesterday in terms of how impactful that game was. One of the biggest wins in Mets franchise in the last 15 years for the entire franchise. 2 of the biggest wins happened on Monday and happened on Thursday.
Right.
With that come-from-behind win over the Braves in the top of the ninth with Francisco Lindor. And basically the same exact thing, but in a playoff setting and coming from behind victory on Pete Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
Did Pete Alonso earn himself another contract with the Mets? Did he become a Met for life with that hit? We continue the conversation next. It's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections, and I'm committed to the integrity and accuracy of our elections. Election Day is November 5th. To vote in the 2024 general election, you have to be registered by Monday, October 7th. Registering is easy, and you can do so online at www.registertovoteflorida.gov, by mail or in person at any one of our 4 offices or a voter registration agency. Your vote is your voice, and we're here to make it count. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections.
Hey, it's your boy JC. We got a developing situation. Deion Sanders, Shador Sanders trying to come to the Dolphins. We explain all in today's brand new Questionable Call with Josh Cohen, exclusively on YouTube. Subscribe now. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
These days, everything seems so expensive. Food, clothes even. So let's think long-term real quick. Wouldn't you rather be driving around in a fuel-efficient new Kia from Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach? I mean, that could save you mucho dinero back in your pocket right now. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach is under construction and overstocked, so they are making deals that other dealers won't like. Brand new 24 Kia Fortes for only $99 a month, plus 0% APR financing is available. And they want your old car. Get up to $6,000 over Kelly Blue Book fair market value for any trade. So what are you waiting for? Get to Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach today. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or visit online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com. Qualified applicants through KMF. 24-month lease, $24.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. Security deposit waived, plus tax, tag, and $9.99 admin fee. Negative equity refinanced. Discount includes all factory rebates to dealer. Offers don't combine. Expires 11/5/24.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management. We're focusing today on the Pac-12 and how they're adding Gonzaga as a member in all sports to school plays starting in July of 2026, according to ESPN. Gonzaga brings a rich basketball tradition to refurbish the Pac-12 as the Zags have reached the round of 16 of the men's NCAA tournament in 9 consecutive seasons. The Pac-12 is still trying to rebuild their conference after most of their teams have left for greener pastures. We'll see if the Pac-12 is able to survive and rebuild. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management program.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Mets ace Kodai Senga is officially back. He will be starting Game 1 against the Philadelphia Phillies at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia tomorrow, 4 o'clock on Fox. Senga, 5 1/3 innings pitched all throughout 2024. That is it. Hasn't pitched since July 26th. Making a triumphant return. You can't imagine they're going to go to him deep. But if they could get 50-something pitches out of him, what a gutsy move by Carlos Mendoza and the Mets and Co. Fascinating move by the Mets. They're going him against Wheeler. Game 1. Mets yesterday, of course, one of the more intense victories that we have seen in quite some time on the postseason front with a come-from-behind victory. Pete Alonso, a 3-run shot in the top of the 9th to take the lead. Unbelievable. Kodai Senga pitching for the Mets here. He had a 2.99 ERA, 2.98 ERA in 2023, his rookie season, went 12-7. This year, technically got the win, but, I mean, only 5 innings pitched. This is the Mets. This characterizes their year. Here's what the Mets have been: a terrible start. We had Steve Phillips on, former Mets GM, earlier in the week, and he told us the Mets, in May, when everybody was saying the clubhouse was completely split and it's the worst team ever, they turned it around. Been the best team in baseball since July. The amount of resilience, come from behind, scrapping together wins, tight playoff race, edging teams out, intense. The game against Philly last weekend, closing out that it was a very, very intense matchup. Getting the most out of their guys. Iglesias making plays. The Mets are chaos. It's almost chaos sprinkled with some destiny.
And it fits the mold of being a Met fan, right? Doesn't this run fit the mold of being a Met fan your whole life? Let's put our shoes, Colin, into you're 22, I'm 29. Let's put our shoes into a Met fan that's our age. Their whole life, right? They've seen 2 runs in the playoffs, realistically. They've seen 2 runs. The year they went to the World Series with Cespedes, they had a couple of good years, I feel like, with David Wright and company. But this is the magic that you need in order for the Mets to win something. You've had to deal with the evil empire that is the New York Yankees. Let's call it for what it is. And I'm going to make some Mets fans upset probably. The Mets are the little brother to the Yankees. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Mets are the little brother to the Yankees. This is a chance to be with the big dogs and to possibly go on a run. Now, I know Yankee fans are counting their chickens a little bit before they hatch, I think, seeing the whole AL Central thing. And Colin, you had the numbers yesterday. What were the Yankees? 24-7? I'm shooting from the hip. Yeah, 24-7 against the Central. I mean, how can't you count your chickens before they hatch? But this run the Mets are making is so New York Met fan-like, and I'm here for it. I would like to see them go on a run. I would like to see them go all the way. I don't want to see the Dodgers.
We're in it.
Brother,
we're here.
Brother, I don't want to see the Dodgers. I certainly don't want to see Philly fans be happy. That is one of the worst things. People are going to start taking their clothes off in the streets of Philadelphia and jumping on light poles. It's what those crazy people do.
What's good is on the NL side of things, at the very least, you got a big team that one of the 4 big teams are going to advance, and that's.
But
that's the theme. There's something there.
This is the way they need to win.
The big market, the big franchises are the ones that haven't played in a week. That makes it interesting. All of a sudden, you have too much time off, a la last year where 3 out of 4 lost. Are the bye teams, are they going to be in their own head a little bit? Now, all of a sudden, you throw another wrench in the mix with the Mets. Everybody knows they have mojo. And now you're throwing their ace, their guy who has their best stuff, but hasn't pitched basically all year. To me, this is mind games. This is playing into the chaos, and they're embracing the unpredictability of the Mets season, the resilience of the Mets season, thinking that they could scratch and claw their way against Wheeler.
Yep.
So I think that's probably part of the reason, because Zach Wheeler is Zach Wheeler, and as good as he is, maybe this is like, all right, well, the odds are against us to begin with. We might as well take a shot in the dark and not waste him in a game where we have, somebody else that's a little more hittable, Nola or Suarez or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So because of that, I I understand it from a tactical perspective. But the idea that they're going to give him the ball to start on the bump in Philly is fascinating.
Let me ask you this, because we talked about the mojo. I just got done explaining, in order for the Mets to win a series and go on a run, they have to do stuff like this. That's the theme that this Mets team has to do. Let's flip it on over to the Phillies. We've seen the Mets get the timely hits with Pete Alonso. We've seen the Mets get the timely hit with Francisco Lindor.
Just in time, too.
Okay, exactly. They have the mojo, and they have proved that they could hit these big home runs or whatever it may be and get these big runs late in games. Do you trust Bryce Harper on the other end? Do you trust Nicholas Castellanos? Do you trust Babe Schwarber over there with the Phillies?
What's nice with the Phillies is they have a lot of proven postseason players. They have a lot of proven commodities and assets, especially in that lineup, that have been successful in the postseason. And it's a matter, and they have about 3-4 guys where they've been up and down all year, and it's a matter of them getting hot. Guys like Bohm and Stott and Castellanos. But guys like Harper are going to be in the mix consistently. And so because of that front, I think, of course, I think if
Harper's been a little up and down, though.
Yeah, but
this year specifically, that's why I asked.
But he's a good postseason performer for the most part.
Agreed.
Now, the question is, are the Mets and the Phillies, with this series, the Phillies are well-rounded, probably the most well-rounded team of the field in terms of everything.
I mean,
they have a good bullpen, they have a good starting rotation, they have a good lineup.
To your point, I think for like 3 months we've known the Phillies were going to be in this position.
Right. And I think this is now a situation where all of a sudden you get the scrappy little brother complex, chaotic, embrace it, a lot to prove, almost nothing to lose type of team in the Mets in the mix. And are they trying to play into being Destiny's team a little too much? You understand? To follow what I'm saying,
I am.
The Mets have had that natural luck, but for at least through Game 2 and I would say 8 innings of Game 3 last night, the Mets looked absolutely dead in the water. They looked dead. I was ready to pinch hit Alonso. That's how bad I thought he was.
I don't think so. Are
they playing into it?
They're playing into it.
To a fault.
No, this is how the Mets need to win. I don't know how many times I need to explain this. The Yankees are the Yankees. They have the players. They have the money. This is a Mets team that just sold everything that's not named Francisco Lindor. They sold. And what's been the topic of conversation with Pete Alonso? To rewind to my Peoria days, right? We covered the Cubs. I can't tell you how many times Cubby fans thought they were getting Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso has been the talk of conversation at the trade deadline and free agency for years now. Colin, the Mets need to win like this because it's Mets-like. This is how they need to win. They need the magic. They need the mojo. And in my opinion, it's them buying into each other. It's them buying into each other and getting an identity. The identity is, we might be out of it, but we're never dead. We're never dead. Don't stop until the very end. And that's been the theme for this Mets team. I'm here for it. I'm here for the late game home runs. I'm here for the late game magic. Ride it all the way to the World Series. If you're a Met fan, this is good. This is what you want because this is how the Mets need to win. They're not going to win having the most loaded roster and the most highest paid players. They could have done that. They tried to do that. Guess what? It failed. Now they got a team. They got guys who actually want to be there and they're bought in.
It's going to be an important matchup now, and I think, to your point, you're right. The Mets need to harness this, but I don't know if the Mets have let this come naturally to this point. It's come by fluke.
It's come naturally because...
But now hasn't it because you're sticking Senga in there. If he comes in and gets bombed, this would be very Mets.
I told you what this is.
This would be very Mets if he comes in and gets bombed immediately.
I told you what this is. This is all our arms are gassed and taxed. Hey, Philly, have fun with this. We don't know what's going to happen, and neither do you. Have fun.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to pull a fast one. We're gonna pull the wool over the
bases loaded at 8 pitches in.
Good luck. Here we go. Here's Babe Schwarber swinging a drive.
So we'll see. This is a fascinating matchup now for the Mets. Definitely, I think the series to watch, the series of note is going to be that Mets-Phils series. That will be the 4 o'clock slate on Friday. Of course, with the other matchups, you got the Dodgers and the Padres in the late slate. And I believe the first one, and they put that Tigers Guardians one at the graveyard shift.
Let's go. That's fine. Let's go.
Get it
We're
out of the
here
way.
for it, baby.
Get your game
Get
out of the way.
Wait till we see the Yankees.
Get the game out of the way.
Wait till we ruin the Yankees postseason.
MLB says,
okay,
get this game out of the way. We have no interest.
That's fine. Hey, Kyle, we'll be the Grim Reaper.
We have no interest in this game.
Swinging
That's what
my
MLB is saying.
I'm swinging my sheath over here. We'll be the Grim Reaper for the Yankee fans listening.
The Guardian, the MLB says,
no one wants
we
him.
don't care.
No one wants him.
Stick him early, have him
Perfect.
go against Big Noon or whatever the hell it is, and we have no interest. And then we'll put the real matchups, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Mets.
Hang on, who did the Tigers just beat? The team that's been there for 7 straight times?
Yeah.
The AL Central, man, they're only there
The
because
best part is everybody forgot about the Tigers because they almost won too easy. It wasn't enough.
They're only there because they beat the White Sox 12 times.
It's a little protective of the AL Central. I can't knock you for having that perspective, but statistically,
it's just I had to listen to everybody before the year.
Statistically, it's there, but I understand you having that perspective.
Everybody before the year and during the year, all the no names please MLB shows that I watch. I can't take these teams seriously. They play the White Sox. They're not even going to make the playoffs. And if they do make the playoffs, it's a fluke. Yeah. Hold that. Hold that, all you no name please.
Tigers, Guardians in Cleveland tomorrow.
Gas bags.
108 on TBS. Mets at Phillies on Fox, 408. Royals at Yankees, 638, also on TBS. Bob Costas will be on that game. Padres at Dodgers to finish off the night, 8:38. First pitch on FS1. That's a packed slate. For a week where there's not a lot of great college football. We'll get into the slate a little bit next. There's not a lot of great college football. This is the day the MLB needs, which is why I don't think it's a problem that there wasn't a game today. Probably because of the scheduling reasons. You need to give the wild card teams a break.
It's Friday night, though. It's the weekend. People are excited. Work's over.
I like the anticipation. I like to let it boil over. No. I like the Senga news being the dominant part of
Here's
today.
the thing, though. Colin, you and I like it, all right? We're baseball snobs. We love baseball. Everyone else, it's like, oh, yeah, we had a great game last night. What's on tonight? Oh, what? Nothing's on? Why isn't anything on? People are asking that today.
Maybe.
The average baseball, or rather the casual baseball fan is probably asking that.
I do like the anticipatory factor. Wow, good word about Colin. Anticipatory factor in waiting a day in between and making sure that these wild card teams do not run out of gas. I know most of them, other than the Mets, really 1 and 2, so there's a little less that you have to worry about in terms of rest. But for the Mets' sake, I'm glad they're not playing tonight. I think they would have completely run out of gas, a la the Braves against the San Diego Padres. But that is going to be one of the most chaotic series that the MLB has to offer, is that Mets-Phillies series. Now, the real question lies in terms of magic. Now the question was in the wild card series, all right, who could get their feet wet, who could get past that first round?
Right.
But now it's to the point of last year and what we saw last year. Can the teams that just had a week off pick up where they left off? And Steve Phillips, who we had earlier on the week, said if it was me and we had that time off, I would manage the hell out of these guys and play it like it was a real game 162 and you were in the playoff race instead of taking it easy, foot off the gas, in order to maintain that sort of competitive fire so they don't get rusty. Now it's a question of, are these 4 teams now going to come out a little flat, a little rusty, and look like a team that took off a week off for the first time since April?
This is the year where I plan on making a decision if I like the time off or not. Is that fair?
If it's 2,
is that fair?
1 year could be a fluke, 2 years is a pattern.
Agreed. And then it's so say I personally wouldn't be shocked if the Dodgers get bounced by the Padres. I'm not going to be shocked. But hypothetically speaking, let's say the Dodgers get bounced again. Let's say the Yankees stub their toe. And baseball is in a nightmare situation in their eyes, in the sense of you're going to have small market teams in the playoffs and nobody's going to be watching anymore. I think you're probably going to have to change this.
Yeah.
Because it seems like if you ask any manager, and Phillips said this, if you ask any manager, like, do you want the rest? Absolutely. We earned the rest and then this and that.
If you ask any fan, they'd probably say the same thing too.
Right.
Now you're almost in your own head.
Agreed. And I plan on making my decision on this year. And now that I even, like Colin, selfishly, I have a team, right? I have a team that had the week off. We won our division. If the Guardians come out and they stink against the Tigers, who they were historically pretty good against for the last 2 years, and they lose the series, yeah, man, I'm going to be crying, it was the time off. It was this, the Tigers, Scooble, Tigers' hottest team. You know, what are the cliches? Hottest team to end the year in baseball. They proved they could win big road games in Houston while we were on our butts.
Yeah. And is that going to be a problem? That you'll know.
Baseball, it will be a problem.
I think you'll know in the first 5 innings of every game.
Yeah.
Whether that's going to impact the team or not.
We've hit, the Guardians have hit Scooble well. I texted.
It's not even about that anymore.
I know. That's what I mean.
It's not about that.
Because I texted my buddies. I'm like, guys, I'm very worried for Scooble because I hit on my I think I'm going to hit on the Cy Young with Scooble, Colin. I did a future on Scooble. And I texted my buddies. I said, did I jinx us? You know, I know I said I don't believe in jinxes. But I go, did I jinx us with this Scooble? And they go, Riz, we've been able to hit him for 2 years. I said, guys,
this is different.
Yeah,
this is different.
The playoffs. We haven't played.
There's different blood flowing through the veins.
And the last time I saw us play, we lost to the Astros twice. And I know you guys, they meant nothing. We already won the division.
Well, the fact that they meant nothing and they didn't play hard, all of a sudden, it's, hold on, guys.
And now you just, and Colin,
it's a week off.
And now you got to shift gears into the fourth gear. Can you do that from being a neutral? Can you go
after not having any time off all year?
Can you go to gear number 4 after sitting in neutral?
That will be the story of the weekend, is whether these teams that have the time off, if they could circle around and get their marbles in order to play some postseason baseball against a bunch of teams that are hot. The Padres are hot, the Tigers are hot, the Mets are hot, and the Royals played well. I wouldn't call them hot, but they played well. Situational baseball. Mike Rizzo, what's Coors Light going to be doing this weekend?
Folks, you got to join our good friends at Coors Light and the ESPN West Palm Street team for a fun Saturday of college football. Join us for the Coors Light college football game of the week featuring UCF and Florida. UCF and Florida, two local-ish teams. UCF and Florida got a lot of Gator fans in the area. Listen, if you support the Gators, I know it's been a tough year. But we're going to have a lot of fun with the ESPN West Palm Street team at Charlie's Bar and Grill in Stewart on Saturday. Once again, Florida fans, Knight fans, UCF fans, Florida fans, Gator fan, Knight fans. The ESPN West Palm Street team will be at Charlie's Bar and Grill in Stewart on Saturday, October 5th. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. They got $10 pitchers, $14 buckets, and ice-cold Coors Light. You could show off your tailgate toss skills for a chance to win prizes featuring your favorite Florida greats. And always courtesy of Palm Beach Autographs. You got to be 21 or older to participate. Molson Coors reminds you to please drink responsibly. Once again, folks, one more time for you. Tomorrow, this Saturday, UCF and Florida are in action, and our street team will be at Charlie's Bar and Grill in Stewart. Tomorrow, October 5th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll see you there.
Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3. Coming up next, we're going to give out our most intriguing matchup of the week. Who's on statement watch and who's on upset watch on the NFL side of things. And Week 5 slate coming up this Sunday. It's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen for the Accident Attorneys, Anajar and Levine. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Did you get injured on the job? Workers' comp problems? My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine, they will fight for you. Remember, they do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation you know you deserve. Here's what you do. You just call. Call Anajar and Levine for your absolutely free consultation. Do not settle for just any attorneys. Demand Anajar and Levine, and demand the Anajar and Levine difference. It takes just one phone call to begin to take back control of your life. So do that. Take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Take back control of your life.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Hear that? It's the gentle sound of a waterfall on your hike. And if you were here, you'd take a deep breath of fresh air if you weren't so winded. But you're not here, because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the bugs you wipe from your headlights are all the nature you need. So if you ride, see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Get an online quote in as little as 3 minutes, all from the great indoors. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
The annual Boca Raton Bowls ABC Supply Great Chefs Tailgate Showcase, presented by Boca Raton Innovation Campus and CP Group, heats up on Tuesday, October 15th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Join me, Theo Dorsey, with ESPN West Palm at Brick in Boca Raton, as dozens of local chefs, breweries, and cocktail masters serve their favorite tailgate classics. Tickets are on sale now. Visit spiritofgivingnetwork.org/events to purchase your tickets today.
Bet live with Hard Rock Bet. Real-time wagering till the very last play. Missing the kickoff doesn't mean all bets are off.
Delay a game on the guy who hasn't bet yet.
Sometimes you just know your team is going to come back. There's sportsbook for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Kodai Senga starting tomorrow for the New York Mets against the Philadelphia Phillies against Zach Wheeler in Game 1. The NLDS in Philadelphia. That will be at 4:08 tomorrow on Fox. No MLB games tonight. Mets, of course, won in dramatic fashion yesterday against the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers choke again. I swear, these Wisconsin sports fans. It's every sport in some capacity every year. Colossal disappointment. That's what happens.
Well, at least they won with Giannis.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
One thing about that is it's a double-edged sword. You're gonna be, if you're good in every sport, you're due for some utter collapse. And that, I think that's what the Wisconsin, Milwaukee, that area of fan has to deal with, because teams like the Packers are always good, and the Brewers are usually always pretty good. And the Bucks are always good. And even if you want to bring up the Wisconsin Badgers, a team that should be pretty good. And they all just, at some point or other, at least it's not perennial terrible, like they're the worst team in the league. They're good, but they just, for some reason, can't get over the hump. I've always found that fascinating.
As a Buckeye fan, Colin, I fear Wisconsin at Camp Randall when they had Brett Bielema. I can't lie. Those games were always tough. Even when Urban Meyer was with the Buckeyes, some of those games we escaped by the skin of our teeth.
Yeah.
Since Bielema left, though, I have not been afraid of Wisconsin.
But yeah,
honestly.
But the for some reason, I agree with this. But just as a whole, Packers are always good, but they're always in the mix. They're always edging closer. That 49er game last year, the Buccaneers a couple of years ago, the Cardinals a number of years ago.
Colin, I'm never going to feel bad for a Wisconsin sport fan.
I agree.
I will never.
That's my point.
I'm sorry, man. If you expected me to sympathize over tears from Green Bay Packer fans who consistently win 10 games and are in the playoffs and have a chance to win, you're out of your mind. You're a Jags fan. I'm a Browns fan.
That segues into the point.
I'll drink those tears.
The Milwaukee Brewer fans are, sopping around, moping. Oh, this always happens to us. It's always heartbreak. Save me the trouble. I don't need to hear this garbage. You guys are good in every sport consistently, and you won a title 3 years ago in a major sport. I know the Brewers have never gotten over to the hedge, And I know the Packers, it's been a bit. But the idea, you're in it every year. There's teams that don't even sniff it.
Right. I'm waiting, Colin, for the resurgence. Speaking of the Brewers, quickly going to baseball. I'm waiting for an NL Central team that's not named Milwaukee to make the playoffs. Because I think you'd have a better chance of winning with a Cardinal or a Cub. The Cubs fought well at the end of the year. If they didn't go on that incredible skid of what was it, the month of June? The month of...
they were hot, and then they got really cold.
Early on, they had a great April, but, Colin, they had a miserable May. A miserable May.
And they got hot in July for a bit, and then they got cold again. They were weird.
I think, I don't know. I thought they probably would have fared better with their pitching than the Brewers.
Maybe next year, Cincinnati with Terry Francona.
I knew you were going to go
running the team. Officially announced that Francona, coming out of a short-lived retirement, taking over the Cincinnati Reds as head manager.
That's just wrong. I thought
it was a health thing.
What happened? Now what happened? I thought, and I will never speak ill will of Terry Francona. He's my favorite manager of all time in baseball. Colin, I thought we should build him a statue. And now, since you're going to Cincinnati, I don't know if, Colin, we don't like Cincinnati. I know that is hard for people to believe, but like Clevelanders, we don't like Cincy. We don't like the Reds. We don't like the Bengals, man.
Yeah.
You can't do that. I don't know if he gets his statue anymore. If he has success in Cincy too, Colin, say he brings them back and they win something. I don't think they're winning anything. But
he was in Boston. He went to Philly. I don't think he cares.
Terry's a great manager and a great person. But Colin, I'll tell you what. I woke up sick to my stomach this morning seeing that news.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by this decision here. If it was a health thing, why are you going to a team that's going to be middling in the 80s in terms of win total next year, and that's going to have to really
pitching. They have Hunter Green and Lodolo.
Right,
they can't stay healthy.
No, and it's just a middling lineup. This is not going to be a walk in the park to 100 wins. And all of a sudden, a guy who the health issues need to take it easy. He needs to be on a beach somewhere. You're gonna an up and coming. Let's rebuild some blocks here. A team that's going to be scrapping and clawing for a playoff berth. That to me doesn't make any sense. I don't know why he's coming back in that sense.
What doesn't make sense to me is why the Reds aren't better. They have young hitting. They have young pitching. They have decent enough bullpen arms. Who's the guy who throws 1,000 miles an hour for them? His name is slipping me. He's their closer. But they should be better than they are. And I have a lot of Cincinnati fans going to college in Ohio. They're asking themselves the same thing after the end of every year. They got all this young hitting, and maybe you trade one of those young hitters for more bullpen arms or pitchers. But getting back full circle with the Brewers, Colin, I would like to see another team not named Milwaukee come out of that. I think the Cardinals are more of a fun team and a richer tradition. I think the Cubs.
I think the Cardinals are on the down slopes here, especially. Yeah,
I mean, Goldschmidt. The problem with them,
Goldie's out. Yeah,
the problem with them, Goldschmidt and Arenado are on the back nine. They don't really have.
I think they're going to get rid of Goldschmidt too. But yeah,
they don't. Well, his contract's up too. They don't really have any starting pitching, in my opinion. That's worth freaking out about.
I took that under as a good pick.
And also Sonny Gray, that was their big signing in the offseason. Sonny Gray's going to be done in 2 years. He's on the back nine of his career.
So
you don't have the young.
The ultimate part. This is a strange move for Francona.
Big time.
Strange. You've won. Go to a beach.
He's going to a rival. Why are you going to Cincinnati?
Do the Guardians and the Reds have that much of a rivalry?
We can't stand each other. It's a battle of Ohio. We battle for the cup every year. Jose Ramirez.
Not the same league, but I understand. It's
Kyle, Jose Ramirez, when we beat them to secure our playoff spot and winning the division,
it was
Jose Ramirez had the Cincinnati's in Kentucky because, Colin, guess what? Cincinnati is in Kentucky.
Yeah. And I understand this. But, Francona's managing a bunch of spots. He was with the Red Sox. He was with the Phillies. He won with the Red Sox. So I understand. But I understand why a Clevelander would be upset.
We're sick to our stomach. It's not. We're not.
I don't know. It's not even that. It's not even the decision of where he went. It's the idea that you did come back. Go
right. And
you're a Hall of Famer. Go hang out on a beach.
He was supposed to be an advisor for us too. He was going to have a role within our organization. He didn't want to stay away, and now it's all this. Colin, if he would have won in 16, I wouldn't have cared. I'm just worried that he could possibly win something in Cincinnati.
I'm not sold on that. I think you're higher in Cincinnati. I took their over, and
it's not that I'm higher on Cincinnati. Terry Francona is a notorious winner.
And
wherever he goes,
manager.
Colin, he doesn't lose. Say what you want about how the Guardians folded to the Yankees every time they played the Yanks in the playoffs.
He gets them there.
We don't lose. You don't lose under Terry.
You get it. He gets you there. So it's an interesting hiring to take the lease. I mean, I'm okay with him coming back. I just think the decision making behind the process, I don't understand. Mike, what do you got to tell for us?
I'll tell you what, Colin. Kaiser University is what I want to talk about with you. They are the school of champions. All over their gym, you could see scattered across the walls championships in a lot of sports. And let me tell you how many. 22 national championships, including back-to-back national championships in men's lacrosse, 3 straight NAIA women's swimming and diving titles, and, of course, the football national championship that happened over last year. And once again, you could hear myself and Cyrus Witten on the call for Kaiser Seahawk football. I'm the color commentator. Cyrus is the play-by-play guy. You could listen to us for all of their home games, folks. Kaiser University has it all. And they also have captured 61 regular season and 63 conference tournament titles, plus a Learfield Cup trophy. Get the latest on Kaiser Seahawk Athletics at KUSeahawks.com. That's KUSeahawks.com. And also internationally, she's on the flag football team. The ladies made it all the way to the national championship game last year.
She's a big star.
They got a lot of hopes for their flag team again this year. Let's hope they can win the title. But Kaiser University, folks, remember the name. Kaiser University are Seahawks.
Russo and Rizzo continuing live here. We'll give our statement pick, upset watch, intriguing matchup, and the best quarterback matchup of the week. Coming up next, it's Russo and Rizzo live here at ESPN 106.3.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and if you're starving for football, ESPN 106.3 is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Tonight, we are coming to your city. ESPN High School Game Day will be on campus for Jupiter Christian at American Heritage. We go live at 6.
Hey, it's your boy JC. We got a developing situation. Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders trying to come to the Dolphins. We explain all in today's brand new Questionable Call with Josh Cohen, exclusively on YouTube. Subscribe now. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 11. Truck accidents require special attention. Sometimes trucking companies put their drivers in a difficult position, and accidents happen. Driving without sleep can be as dangerous as drunk driving. Loads can be too heavy. Evidence needs to be preserved for inspection without delay. Some trucking companies hide insurance, but we know how to find it. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Palm Beach and throughout Florida.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
ESPN West Palm and Humana are proud to recognize military veterans within our local community. Our Veteran of the Month is Colin Durant. Colin served 5 years in the United States Navy, with additional service as an FMF corpsman in the U.S. Marines. Colin resides in West Palm Beach and continues to be an inspiring presence in the veteran community. He is a proud owl, graduating from Florida Atlantic University with a master's degree in business. Colin is an avid sports fan. His favorite teams are the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Phillies. His favorite athlete is Kevin Durant. Join us in extending our heartfelt gratitude to Colin for his unwavering service, sacrifice, and continued dedication to his fellow veterans. Colin Durant is the Veteran of the Month, presented by ESPN West Palm and Humana.
Tee up your taste buds with the ultimate pairing, great food and golf. Theo Dorsey here at The House in West Palm Beach. Overlooking the park's world-class 18-hole golf course, The House offers coastal American dishes that will satisfy anyone's palate. The House is open Thursday through Sunday for lunch, brunch, and dinner. Stop by for an entree and receive a free round at the park's The Lit 9 par 3 course on the house. Visit thehousewestpalm.com for their full menu and to make reservations.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections, and I'm committed to the integrity and accuracy of our elections. Election Day is November 5th. To vote in the 2024 general election, you have to be registered by Monday, October 7th. Registering is easy, and you can do so online at www.registertovoteflorida.gov, by mail, or in person at any one of our 4 offices or a voter registration agency. Your vote is your voice, and we're here to make it count. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections.
Time now for a PNC Pause. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at pnc.com. You're listening to ESPN 1063.
Hey everyone, it's Cade Shumsland. Every week, Land Rover Palm Beach supports local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community by naming a Player of the Week. This year, $35,000 will be rewarded to student athletes and their schools. Tune in to ESPN West Palm High School Game Day every Friday night as I unveil this week's featured athlete. If you have a great performance that I need to know about, DM us at ESPN West Palm, Land Rover Palm Beach, above and beyond.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Join Bud Light and the ESPN West Palm Street team at Bonefish Max in Port St. Lucie this Sunday, October 6th from 1 to 3. We'll watch the Miami Dolphins take on the New England Patriots, and you'll get a chance to win Bud Light prizes or qualify for Miami Dolphins tickets. Bonefish Max is going to have drink specials including $15.99 buckets of Bud Light, and Michelob Ultra. You must be 21 or older to participate. Southern Eagle reminds you to please drink responsibly. We'll see you at Bonefish Max Sunday.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Packed football slate this weekend. Week 5 in the NFL. Week 6 in college football underway this weekend alongside some Division of Series baseball. It's Russo and Rizzo live here on ESPN 1063. Mike Rizzo for a change behind the glass. Colin Russo here. Presented by our pals over at Hard Rock Bet. Well, now you've seen the first few weeks of football season play out. It's time to try your first bet on Hard Rock Bet. Maybe you're like Miami. Things haven't gone as like you'd expect. You don't win your first bet on Hard Rock Bet, you get up to $100 back for a second chance. That's what they got for you. Each game, you can bet on touchdown scores, passing yards, other stats, total points, who will win, so much more. You can also bet on college football, the MLB. They got you covered on every sense. If you don't want to bet a ton of money, you could try a parlay. The more bets you combine, the more your potential payout is. In week 1, a Florida bettor went 16 for 16, picked every winner on the NFL slate in a parlay. $15 bet, $104,000 in winnings on that.
Could you use $104,000?
It's just an unfathomable amount of money on a parlay, but that's what people can do on Hard Rock Bet. Hard Rock Bet also shows you the popular parlays, the props, the picks that other people are betting from across the app on the Discover page. You could tail any trending ones in just a few taps. All you got to do is get started, is download Hard Rock Bet on the App Store or Google Play Store, or go online to hardrock.bet. Once again, if you try Hard Rock Bet now and you get up to $100 back in bonus bets, if your first bet does not win, it could be a parlay, it could be a prop, it could be an over, it could be whatever you like. You win the first bet, or you get the same amount back paid as a bonus bet. Go try Hard Rock Bet today. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Like an interesting one, for example, here. 5-bet parlay plus 4,000 essentially.
Wow.
James Cook, Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Tyreek Hill, and CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown scores. $10 to pay over $400.
Do you want to know which one's not going to hit on that one?
Who's that?
Tyreek Hill.
Probably not. With New
Tyreek
England,
Hill.
we got New England there,
We do,
too.
yeah.
-1. We're going Patriots in a shutout.
Hey, Kyle, we locked it. We locked it in.
New England
I'm not
-1.
I'm not as cool as C-Cat. I don't have the dun-dun-dun-dun sound that he usually plays, but.
All righty. Interesting. Let's get into our matchups of the week that we like. I'm going to start with our intriguing matchup of the week. Mike, I want to get yours.
I went back and forth on this. My intriguing week is Ravens and Bengals. I think this is a game where the Bengals could put their foot in the sand and go, yeah, might have started 0-3. But we're going to beat the quote-unquote one of the hottest teams in the league in Baltimore. Baltimore started 0-2. They're now 2-2. And it's a road game. Cincinnati's back in what they call the jungle. So I got to go Ravens and Bengals. Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson. I think it's heavy division implications going into this game as well. I think the Bengals need to right the ship. And what better to do it against a division rival? For my intriguing matchup, Kyle, give me Ravens and Bengals for that reason.
Really? Okay. I'm going to go with the Packer game at the Rams.
You love the Rams.
I love the Rams.
And
I love
you
Stafford. I love Stafford. I love McVay. I just love what they got going on there. They got nobody playing. They got a high school team with Stafford and McVay, and they're trying to churn together a couple wins here. McVay's usually good after a loss. Packers coming off a tough loss, too. On the road here, the Rams enter a bye after this week. Teams that are entering a bye usually, like Fat Jack of FatJackSports.com told us, traditionally play really, really hard going into the bye and usually play pretty well. So ultimately, I think that the Rams are going to come out and play tough, but it's an intriguing matchup just to see what type of Ram team you get. It seems to be back and forth if they're going to roll over and die, if you have the right type of Rams game that day, and how the Packers are going to respond after a tough loss against Minnesota. They had a terrible start. Jordan Love, another week. Maybe he could get a little more healthy.
Should they have started Malik Willis last game?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
No, that defense would have swarmed him. No. At least Love responded in a big way. That's an interesting one to see how the Packers respond there. Let's shift on. Mike, your statement win of the week. Who do you got? What's your pick?
My statement win of the week is going to be Bills over the Texans. I think the Bills have a bad taste in their mouth after getting bamboozled on Monday Night Football. I think Josh Allen is going to have a real big game as well. Give me Bills over Texans. Now, C.J. Stroud and D'Amico Ryans, I like what they got going on there. I think this is one of those games where the Bills go, we're still one of the top dogs in the AFC. Kyle, we talked earlier in the show about who, like in the NFC and the AFC, are teams that are going to be trifled with. Obviously, in the AFC, we mentioned Kansas City, and then I mentioned Buffalo. Could you see the Texans emerging throughout the year as a team in the AFC where you go, man, we don't want to run into them?
Maybe. The way I look at the Texans is, I alluded to it earlier in the year when we were talking about Houston, was are they going to suffer from a little bit of that sophomore slump?
Right. And CJ, they're 3-1.
3-1.
I think
it's an ugly 3-1, but it's 3-1 nonetheless.
It is, and I think CJ could have played better, but all that matters is putting wins up. Stroud on the year, I say he could play better, Colin. 1,054 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and those 2 interceptions came against Minnesota.
Yep, and now he's been sacked 13 times, though. It's kind of a lot. 13 times.
It's more of a sophomore about the team. This is the second year the team's really in the mix here. Can they continue to stay hot? I don't know. And the Bills that's a great matchup. I think that's probably the game of the week.
And I think the statement is that Buffalo, they're going to right the ship after getting embarrassed by Baltimore, and that more or less Buffalo's kind of look at them and go, you still got a little bit of ways to go. We're proven you're not.
I like that. I think the Bill. I agree with the idea that I think the Bills are going to play pretty well there. In terms of my upset of the week, if you want to count it, we're going to count it just because of how poorly they've played. We took it, Dallas. At Pittsburgh, that's no easy game. Sunday Night Football, everybody's ready to write off Dallas. I think Dallas is going to play well here. And I know the Steelers are coming off a loss. They're going to be motivated. But I think after that long week, there's a lot of talk about Dallas, of course. They squeaked out that win against New York in that god-awful Thursday Night Football game about 10 days ago, or 8 days ago. I think the long week's going to help them. I think Dallas could play pretty tough on that Sunday night game. I got them. If you want to count it as an upset, I mean, in a lot of ways, everybody knows Pittsburgh's got their flaws.
Yep.
But I think people are out on Dallas, and I think they're going to make some sort of statement this week.
You want to know why they're out on Dallas? I mean, the defense gave up 44 points to Baltimore. They gave up, to New Orleans. They gave up 28 points to Baltimore. Now, they played well against the Giants, but it's Daniel Jones. So, like, what if the Dallas defense...
They were good in the red zone.
Yes.
They were good in the red zone.
I agree there. But the reason I like Dallas in this game, Colin, is because I think their front seven... I know Micah Parsons, banged up, whatever, but I think their front seven is going to be able to disrupt Justin Fields. I'm not buying, and I guess maybe shame on me, being a Buckeye guy. I'm not buying the Justin Fields stuff. I'm not buying it, Colin. I'm not buying their quarterback situation. I think they have a gimmicky offense.
Yeah,
they can't run the ball.
Yeah,
they can't run the ball.
You buy that defense. That's
right.
Really
You buy Watt, and we call it what? Yeah,
just the primal defense they have.
The animal that TJ Watt is. But no, in all honesty, like, fair play to Artie Smith. Fair play to Artie Smith, the offensive coordinator for the Steelers, in a sense of he's not letting Fields make mistakes. And guess what, Colin? It has him at 3-1. So maybe they do a little bit of more of that. They do more of the same where they're not going to let him throw downfield and make the interception.
Steeler fans are happy with where they are. They're more than happy.
Steeler fans are calling in drunk to the show. Remember, what was it? A week ago, we had intern Colton's buddy call in drunk to the show and, wax poetically about Justin Fields.
Be careful. You don't want to get Colton in trouble here, but yeah.
They're all bought in. They're all bought in.
Yeah, they are. And I give them credit. They're 3-1. But I think Dallas is in a position here to make a bit of a statement. Upset side of things. I mean, you could count that Dallas one for me, but I might have another one in store. Mike, do you have an upset watch of the week?
I went back and forth on this.
Are you going to say your Browns?
No, I can't. I think we're going to get smoked. I think the Browns get smoked just because you don't have an offense. And Dan Quinn, a defensive-centric coach, Colin, I think he's going to have a plan for Watson and the Browns' misery. We have the worst. We went from having the best the Browns. I keep saying we. The Browns have had one of the best offensive lines in the league for the last 3 years. Now we have like the worst offensive line in the league. So I think Dan Quinn's going to have something ready for Deshaun Watson.
The New York Giants?
No, I am going to go. I guess it's not much of an upset, Colin. I'm going to go Giants over Seahawks.
I like this, too.
I'm going to go Giants over
That's my pick.
I'm not sold. I told you I'm not sold on Seattle. You're high on Seattle.
I think Seattle's good. I just think the Giants are going to play well. I like this long week they had. They didn't convert anything in the red zone, but they didn't have that many problems driving
Now,
the
what's
ball.
the status of Neighbors, though?
Yeah, it's Neighbors, and Singletary's is banged up, too. But for some reason, the Giants are going to travel across the country. Give me that on an upset watch.
Didn't we take that? Did we take that?
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did. We took that. I think we did.
We're on the Giants and the Cowboys.
It's the plus 6.5 point trend. We're finally jumping onto the trends. Now the trend's going to
Are we listening to Fat Jack?
We're listening to the trends. Yeah. I like theme more than trend. But I'll ride the trend along with the theme. Here's the theme. Banged up. A lot to play for here. Coming off a hard-fought Thursday night football loss that was ugly. Give me that long week. Seahawks on a short week here, coming back after their first loss of the season. Blueprints out a little bit on that, at least attacking that defense. Here's your theme. The Giants got a lot to play for. That's the theme.
Are they borrowing some mojo from the Mets?
The New York Mojo, I like that.
Are they siphoning?
I like this.
Colin, are they
siphoning?
New York.
The thing is, it's the Jets. The Jets are the Mets. The Jets and the Mets.
Do they have some witch coven siphoning some of that magic on over to the West Coast this weekend?
Yeah. Kate Chumsland, ESPN West Palm's very own, or basically a reporter at this point, texted me and said that Malik Neighbors is out. My pick does not change. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize they announced it. I didn't realize they announced it.
Thank you, Cade. I knew it.
The
Colin,
Mets
we're
mojo.
Done. We're done.
The Mets mojo would go to the Jets, and the Mets finally got some mojo on Monday.
Colin, we goofed.
No, we didn't.
We don't have Neighbors. We're done.
We're okay. They targeted him too much anyway.
What do you mean?
Too many eggs in one basket.
Spread
the ball.
Who's their best receiver after that? Sterling? Is
No.
Shepard
He's on the Buccaneers.
Brother,
he scored last night.
Sterling Shepard.
No, he scored last night.
I'm trolling, Colin. I'm trolling. I don't know who their second receiver is.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oh my God. Who? I've been pulling Snoop Dogg here.
Theme.
Who?
Mojo theme.
Oh.
The Mets mojo really kicked into gear last Sunday. Hold on. It really kicked into gear when they had to get into that game 163. Or not 163, but they had that doubleheader. That's when the mojo hit. That was after the Jets played that god-awful game at MetLife.
Daniel Jones.
The Jets might upset the Vikings. They might tail off that mojo. I'm into that. I like this. I might change my pick to both the New York. This could be a big week for New York. The Yankees are going to win. The Mets are going to ride on that mojo.
God.
Kodai Senga is going to knock off Zach Wheeler.
Take that,
You're going to see the Jets dominate Europe, and they're going to take down. They're going to take down the Vikings in London, and then you got the Giants going to Seattle and taking them down. I like this.
Am I going to be? What time's that game? What time's the Giants and the Seahawks game, Colin? Is that 3?
That's got to be a 4:00 game.
Am I going to be seeing Daniel Jones look like a dying gazelle out in the plains, ready for a lion to pounce on him? Is he going to be running for his life against that Seahawk front seven? No neighbors.
Theme.
We need, brother. We need to.
Theme. They spread the ball they gave the ball to neighbors too much. He led the league in receptions by
offense.
He led the league in receptions by I think it was 10 receptions over Nico Collins.
Dude, he's their
10
whole
targets.
Offense.
Spread it out. They don't know where they're going to go. This is like Kodai Senga coming in for the Mets and starting against the Phillies. You don't know where they're going to go. You don't know what this is going to be.
I know what it's.
That's the Giants' offense this weekend against the Seattle Seahawks.
Is Saquon suiting up, right?
Yeah, Saquon.
We're screwed, Kyle.
We're okay.
So done.
We're okay. We're okay. I think Singletary's out too.
Oh my God.
So there's a theme here. I found it. The theme is with the Mets, Kodai Senga, little splash factor. Where are we going to be? What team is this going to be? How are they going to play? Giants, similar situation. Long week. Little bit of a banged up, no neighbors, maybe no Singletary. This is going to be a fascinating weekend of New York sports. I like this. Giants and Jets both to win.
And then the Bills to beat the Texans.
Yeah.
Because they're technically New York. Right? I know people.
It's going to be a big week for
New
York.
They're technically New York, right?
Yep.
A lot of people are liking the Cardinals on the road for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not in on that.
Neither am I.
I think the Niners are getting gradually a little bit more healthy, but I agree. The Cardinals probably need the game. You don't need to fall behind, but I have a tough time seeing the Niners drop down there.
Colin, when are they going to fire somebody in Jacksonville?
I don't know.
What does that have to get to?
I would have fired.
You got to lose
probably
more games?
Not even that. It's probably halfway through the season. I think the writing's on the wall, but I think they're just going to wait till halfway through the season. It's hard to put an interim head coach there and make him coach 13 games.
Correct.
So if you're going to make him coach 8-9 games, maybe get a feel.
Are they just going to punish Doug Peterson and make him finish the year? That's the more I heard you talk about it.
You're punishing everybody else at that point, too, because all the media hates him. He hates all the media. All the fans hate him. They don't want to deal with him. Lawrence hates him. You're just punishing everybody else.
Lawrence hates him? Is that?
Lawrence is a good guy. He's a really upstanding. He will not say a wrong thing ever. Lawrence does not like him. He just will never say it. The writing's on the wall.
There's no possible upset for the Jags over the Colts? That's a winnable game, dude.
Maybe. And they're wearing their throwbacks.
And the Jags.
They're wearing their throwbacks from the 90s. The one with the Jaguar on the side the ocean blue.
Yeah, I like that.
Really
like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Oh, can we call that an aqua? I think it's safe to say we could call that an
whatever.
aqua.
I don't have a color palette title in my head. But
it looks like what'd you call it? The Gulf blue?
No, ocean blue.
Ocean blue.
It's ocean, a turquoisey.
So you're gonna call me crazy. I grew up visiting the Gulf side of Florida my entire life. My mother
that's
originally.
That's a Midwest thing. Yeah,
it
the
is.
Midwest
it
goes
is.
to the west.
Yeah.
The
Gulf. We go to the Gulf, and mother is originally from Treasure Island. That side of the ocean is that color. I believe it or not. Those Jags jerseys from those years in the 90s, that's the color of the Gulf. Rather, the Atlantic is more blue because it's deeper.
Yeah, that giant the Jaguars debuting that colorway from the 2000s and the 90s.
They're trying to pull their inner Fred Taylor. And
I think they're
Byron
just. I think
Leftwich.
this is a distraction, trying to keep the team keep the fans and the media off their back.
Mark Brunell.
I think they're trying to keep the team off their back, everything off their back a little bit. All right, here's a distraction. Here's the circus of the New Jerseys. Enjoy it. We'll make some ticket sales on it and enjoy it. It's Russo Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3. A college slate that is highlighted by a couple interesting Big Ten games, but a lot of teams on bye, shaping up for a huge week next week. But we're going to go through that slate next, see what picks we like. If there's any upsets in store. Is Miami, have they gotten their bad game out of the way? We continue and touch on that a little bit more. Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's your boy JC. We got a developing situation. Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, trying to come to the Dolphins. We explain all in today's brand new Questionable Call with Josh Cohen, exclusively on YouTube. Subscribe now. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
Banyan Printing, your trusted printing, mailing, and signage partner in the Palm Beaches for over 45 years. Banyan Printing's new metallic ink press adds that extra shine so that your product comes out in glossy gold, sparkling silver, or any other color you want to shine. Banyan Printing is the official printer of Kaiser Athletics and would love to be your official printing partner as well. Order products and learn more about what Banyan Printing can do for your business at banyanonline.com or call 561-586-6220.
Tee up your taste buds with the ultimate pairing, great food and golf. Theo Dorsey here at The House in West Palm Beach. Overlooking the park's world-class 18-hole golf course, The House offers coastal American dishes that will satisfy anyone's palate. The House is open Thursday through Sunday for lunch, brunch, and dinner. Stop by for an entree and receive a free round at the park's The Lit 9 Par 3 course. On The House. Visit thehousewestpalm.com for their full menu and to make reservations.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections, and I'm committed to the integrity and accuracy of our elections. Election Day is November 5th. To vote in the 2024 general election, you have to be registered by Monday, October 7th. Registering is easy, and you can do so online at www.registertovoteflorida.gov, by mail or in person at any one of our 4 offices or a voter registration agency. Your vote is your voice, and we're here to make it count. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Hi, this is Blaine Isbell, Corporate Vice President of Team IP. For over 30 years, Team IP has been a national leader in decorated apparel and promotional products. National corporate brands and 22 college bowl games, including the Boca Raton Bowl, make Team IP their partner of choice. Team IP, located right in our community in Stuart, is a proud partner of ESPN West Palm. Contact me anytime at 877-821-8643 or head to teamip.com and take the first step in making Team IP your team to boost your brand.
Join Bud Light and the ESPN West Palm Street team at Bonefish Max in Port St. Lucie this Sunday, October 6th from 1 to 3. We'll watch the Miami Dolphins take on the New England Patriots, and you'll get a chance to win Bud Light prizes or qualify for Miami Dolphins tickets. Bonefish Max is going to have drink specials, including $15.99 buckets of Bud, Bud Light, and Michelob Ultra. You must be 21 or older to participate. Southern Eagle reminds you to please drink responsibly. We'll see you at Bonefish Max Sunday.
It's your boy JC, and it is football season, and nobody loves it more than me. And nobody loves Twin Peaks more than me. eats, drinks, scenic views, 29-degree beer, happy hour daily made from scratch favorites, and always your UFC fight headquarters. You can watch any and every single football game happening in Ultra 4K HD from your Twin Peaks locations. You can watch any and every UFC fight, pay-per-view or otherwise, and never pay a cover. That's right, UFC fight headquarters, it's always Twin Peaks.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Drinking my accomplishments, faded way too long. I'm floating in and out of consciousness, and they saying I'm back. I'd agree with that. I just take my time with all this shit. I still believe in that. I had someone tell me I fell
Rolling on here, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo. Behind the glass for a change. No C-Cat. He will be doing high school game day tonight. Dr. Joaquin Garcia playing host to Wellington, 6:30 kickoff. You can catch myself doing the pregame of ESPN West Palm High School game day presented by HSS, supported by Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather.
Got a guest tonight, man. I'm here, too.
Yeah, Mike's going to be in the studio with us.
If you're watching on YouTube, man, I just changed into my comfies, dude. I'm ready to go.
He's going to be in the mix there.
We're having a sleepover.
Yeah, it's going to be a long night.
Colin, we're having a sleepover.
It's going to be a long one. But high school game day, stay tuned for that immediately after the show today. And it should be a good one between Joaquin Garcia and Wellington. It's Russo and Rizzo live here. Big college weekend that is highlighted, but not necessarily the Bamas and Georgias of the world. But the Big Ten has a lot of big games. And you got a team like Michigan State going at Oregon this weekend.
Tonight?
That sounds like a Big Ten. Saying that's a Big Ten matchup just doesn't sound right. And then, of course, the ranked matchup that everybody wants to talk about this weekend is Missouri at Texas A&M. And Missouri's interesting because Missouri's sort of that fringe out of the top bubble SEC team that's sitting there coming off a bye undefeated, but I don't think people really know where Missouri is right now. It's a matter of where do they lie. Ole Miss lost last week to Kentucky. Mizzou is sitting there thinking, all right, that fourth spot in the SEC is sort of up for grabs after the Bama, Texas, Georgia. Can Missouri sort of slot themselves in there with a win at Kyle Field?
I think so. I think so. And speaking to Missouri fans before the year, I knew a couple of them in Peoria, Kyle. They said if they don't make the college football playoff in the 12 teams, that the season would be a letdown. And I was shocked by that. Now, they put a lot of stock. Missouri fans have put a lot of stock in winning that ridiculous bowl game where the Buckeyes started like fifth stringers in. But they have had some, we talk about theme and mojo a lot on this show. Missouri football has had the theme and the mojo since the end of last college football season. Now, I wonder if Drakovitz if he could figure it out on the road at College Station. But I'm not a Texas. Colin, I don't think Texas A&M should be ranked. I don't think they're very good. I think they're ranked because, number one, the Notre Dame bias and college football bias for Notre Dame is trying to skew that into a good win for the Fighting Irish. But I think Missouri wins by about a touchdown in this game.
Really?
I do.
So you think they're going to win easy there? Or at least easy enough?
I remember we talked about it when we picked our punchline picks last night.
Missouri almost lost to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt had every chance to beat them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but Vanderbilt, I think we're learning Vanderbilt isn't the Vanderbilt of years past.
Pesky.
They're at least they're not a good football team, but you at least got to respect them now.
Pesky. Diego Pavia, the quarterback, the New Mexico kid. I think, that was a pesky game. That was at Missouri too. I give Vanderbilt credit, but Mizzou has got a chance today. Tomorrow, that is at A&M. It's not the hardest SEC matchup in the world. They got UMass Amherst the week following that. So this is the game that's been circled on their schedule.
Can I give you a game?
What's that?
I think Michigan might struggle for a couple of quarters at Washington.
It's not an easy travel day. Yeah.
And I think I respect Rutgers. I think Rutgers football is pretty good this year under Schiano.
Yeah, Rutgers is underrated. And so is Indiana, and they got at Nebraska. That's one of the good games of the weekend.
Yeah, and Washington was in that game in New Jersey against Rutgers. They only lost by 3. And then Washington State, I know they lost last week. They got blown out, but Washington State 24-19. Washington loses that rivalry game. I always question, right? I always question if you have a quarterback that is inept of throwing the ball and you're going to go into hostile territory, like, Washington's going to be up for this game. They're going to have their fans there, and they're going to be going crazy. What orgy are we going to see in this game? Are we going to see the orgy that is going to run the ball and game manage and dink and dunk down the field? And Colin, I could even argue he can't even dink and dunk down the field.
Yeah.
If you see a Red Grange-esque kind of game plan by Michigan, I think it'll take them a couple of quarters to get the motor going.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game. I think Michigan's just waiting to lose another bad one. So
we talked about it. Kyle, we kind of mentioned that maybe we see 3 or 4 losses on that schedule.
Michigan this is not easy. They got
top 10 team
at Washington and at Illinois back to back here, and then in a couple weeks they got Oregon at home and at Indiana, which has not turned into an easy game. All of a sudden, Indiana is now ranked 23. They're 5-0, and then they got Ohio State finishing off the year.
Do you see what Indiana's coach said? He goes, I win. You can look it up on Google. Yeah, that's what I do.
Signetti,
yeah.
Cognetti.
He goes, look me up on Google. I win.
Good for him. Good for him.
I know, dude.
See, he sent like a school-wide email to the student body saying, we need you to fill the stadium.
Yeah. Dude, it's been a disgrace there for years.
That would fire me up. Would fire me up.
Would you go?
Coach, I'm going.
Would you be there?
Yeah. If Coach asked me to on the email, yeah, I think I would. I'd give Coach credit.
If
for a team that never wins, yeah.
If Luke Fickell reached out.
No, it's different.
Why?
Because Cignetti has swagger. There's an identity there. Fickell is a phony.
No, he's not.
He's a
give him. You need 3 years.
Don't
I will do that. I'm going to defend my own. I like Luke Fickell.
I don't. I'm not a Fickell guy. He lost that lock. Did you see what Braylon Allen tweeted after the game on Saturday?
I didn't. What did he say?
Wisconsin had that terrible loss at USC.
Yep.
Braylon Allen said, who played under Fickell, said, I'm going to hold my tongue for now. Essentially, I'm going to paraphrase it as best I can. I'm going to hold my tongue for now, but eventually I'm going to get in front of some podcast equipment and I'm going to really tell you what was going on in that locker room last year.
Oh, God. He did. So you're telling me Fickell has no...
Yeah, that was the read.
He just says the players are running things probably. And
that was the read. 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program. That's 888-760-3776.
You haven't Iowa and Ohio State. You haven't. I picked it.
You're high. We took Ohio State.
Yeah, because I'm a homer. It's a return home game. It's a return home game for a few players for Iowa. Ferentz recruits the kids in Ohio that don't get the Ohio State and the Michigan offers. Caleb Johnson from Hamilton, Ohio, which is pretty close to Columbus. He's had a good year. He's got almost 700 yards on the ground, 9 touchdowns. I wonder if Ohio State is going to be able to stop the run in this game. I wonder if the defense is not going to be able to leak some yards early on. But, Colin, I think they should cover 19.5. Iowa, I know they're 3-1 and their only loss came to their rival against Iowa State. But I'm very confident. I swear this isn't me just being a homer. I'm very confident that Ohio State will be able to move the ball and do some good things on the offense.
I think Ohio State's due for a bit of an explosion. I agree with you on that sense. Shifting to the baseball side of things, just an update on Kodai Senga going to be starting. Coming back since July 26th, he hasn't pitched. Going to be it's a fascinating decision by manager Carlos Mendoza, number one. But two, it's a gutsy call. The Mets are trying to ride on a sense of that mojo, that magic. And phone lines are open, 888-760-3776. We're going to shift to Luke from New York, who called in last week about the Mets. Luke, are you with us? What's going on?
I'm right here. Hey, guys, how you doing? Thank you for having me on again. How about the Mets? Whoa!
All right, Luke, let's start with the story really quick. Actually, let's go with last night, and then I want to ask you about Senga. Go right ahead.
All right. So I texted every single Mets fan I knew all day leading up to the game. Pete has to be the one tonight. Pete has to be the one tonight. I got text receipts for it all. And then every moment he went up, he went just with one swing, and he kept falling through. It was just Lindor all night. It was a mess. I had given up. Then some veteran at-bats by Lindor, followed by Nimmo. To get us
that Nimmo at-bat was so underrated. That Nimmo at-bat, so underrated. 0-2, one in the gap. Oh,
it was
unbelievable.
amazing. It It was amazing. And did you see he lost his grandmother right before the game and didn't tell anybody.
Yep.
Oh man, great! I love Nima. I love all those guys.
Now Alonso does this, and what's the read on Alonso now? All of a sudden, I was ready for Alonso to take off the Met uniform, never put it back on again. All of a sudden, he gets that hit in the top of the ninth. What's our perspective on him as a Met fan?
I never gave up on Alonso. It was a tough year, a lot of empty stats. I mean, he had 30-88, I think. But, I mean, it's Pete. Like, Francisco's the superstar, Pete's the franchise player. There's value in that, man. When Pete gets up, this team is behind him. They're like, and now it's the Phillies. I mean, come on. You can't write better than this. And for baseball itself, they got some great series coming up. But, oh, man. And Pete hit that ball. I didn't think that was going anywhere near. Oh, but he knew the whole time. He screamed right away. That was the. You can't write better than that. And then to finish off the game, you bring in Peterson, and then Lindor with the double play, doing it all himself. I was like, what is he doing? Why is he running with that? It was ridiculous. But he got it. That's the Mets though, and they got out hit all 3 games in that series. It did not look pretty, but they figured it out.
Luke, true.
This is a team that can win.
Luke, true or false? You were ready to be done with Pete Alonso before the home run.
If he doesn't hit that home run, it would have been his last at bat with the Mets. And his legacy is pretty much nothing. I mean, Pete didn't have the big hit. He finally got it.
Now, Luke, last thing here. After that Met series, after that game, the triumphant victory, after sort of the dust settled a bit, the question turns is who are the Mets going to go with to start on the mound against Zach Wheeler in Philadelphia on Saturday? It came out, of course, that Kodai Senga, a guy who's pitched 5 innings all year, hasn't pitched since July, a guy who definitely has the best stuff amongst the starting rotation, but this is nonetheless a very gutsy decision. Number one, I know it's a tough spot because they pitched Peterson a little bit. You probably could have went with him or McGill. What is your takeaway? Senga coming back, Mendoza going with him to start the game, probably only going a couple innings, but what's your reaction to that last thing before we let you go?
I got to quote Mendoza. It's big boy time. That's it, plain and simple.
Really? So if he comes in and gets banged around a little bit and he's out after 2 innings, you're not going to be pissed off at Mendoza?
Oh, I'm going to be furious. It's a gutsy call. And that's what the team's been doing all year. I mean, last night, Buto on 1 day's rest when the numbers say do not play him like that. But, hey, they've been getting wins. I mean, this is a team that can find a way to win baseball games. That's all that matters.
Luke, how sweet would it be, with the Phillies being a rival and everything, how sweet would this one taste?
More than anything. I went to Penn State. All of my friends are Phillies fans. I would like nothing better than to just have them cry the tears of this amazing season they had, all to get finished off by the little old Mets.
All right, Luke, I appreciate the call. Great job as always. That was Luke in New York, who's a big diehard Mets fan, playing on the mojo, loves Alonso now, ready for Kodai Senga to take down the Phillies. That's the Mets optimism.
That's what you need. That's the magic. That's the magic that you need.
That's the optimism that we needed. That's what the Mets do, and I give them credit. And now it seems like everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid.
They're banking on a little bippity boppity boo.
They're drinking. Everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid now. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm in.
When's that pumpkin striking midnight? When is it striking midnight for Cinderella? I know that's more or less a March Madness term, but I mean seriously, when's the pumpkin taking Cinderella home?
No.
Little bippity boppity.
I can't tell. You can't talk like that. You can't talk like that. You got to keep it. If anything, this is like.
But who are they?
Is this a game at a time?
The reason I'm asking, Luke does not sound afraid of the Phillies, and fair play to him.
Are the Phillies afraid of the Mets?
No. The Phillies. Let me put you in the shoes of the Phillies. The Phillies have proved that they could win a playoff series and go deep into the playoffs. The Mets have to prove that. Agreed?
Do the Phillies? Yes.
The Mets have to prove that still.
Do the Phillies have a bit of pressure on them to get over the hump? I think
there's pressure
as the Yankees and the Dodgers, of course, but there's pressure there because they haven't gotten it done.
In my opinion, there's pressure to win Game 1. I think there's pressure to win Game 1 for the Phillies. If the Phillies lose Game 1, I think they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because then they got to steal one in New York.
It's the Wheeler game. It's the Wheeler game. So if they're going to get past the Wheeler game, but I think that Citi Field is going to be rocking.
What was the last? I'm trying to think. To your point, Colin, Wheeler. What's the last good pitcher the Mets faced?
What, this postseason?
Just in
Peralta.
Okay. Peralta, Fried. Are they on the level of Wheeler?
No, Wheeler, of course.
That's what I mean.
It's him and Sale.
And Peralta, partner,
But
he relies so much on strikeouts and punchouts. Peralta gives up runs. What I'm saying is, if the Mets go out there and shell Wheeler and hit Wheeler, I'm calling Cinderella and telling her we're staying out past midnight.
I see. The thing about that is the Mets haven't done that. I'd have a hard time thinking that they're gonna, if they keep it 0-0 with Wheeler, then they're gonna rely on some heroics late in the game. That's what the Mets have been doing. A resilient bunch. That's gonna be the game plan. Survive through 6, whether it's with Senga and McGill or Senga and Peterson. Survive through 6 or 7. Get Wheeler out. Then let the magic come. Let the dust set. Let the dust hit us. Mojo theme. New York Mets. The Miracle Mets. We continue the program. Close it out on a Friday. Send you off into the weekend. Next, it's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers and communities they serve by helping them move forward financially. As a Main Street bank, PNC is always working to make it easier for their customers to achieve their goals and plan for the future, whether that's through innovative digital solutions or in person. PNC is proud to be part of the South Florida community. See how PNC Bank can make a difference for you at pnc.com/tech. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-FREE. Listen, if you were in an accident, car accident, truck accident, slip and fall, trip and fall, injured on the job, workers' comp issues, call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. They will fight for you. They do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation that you know that you deserve. Do not deal with the insurance companies on your own. That's impossible. They make it as such. Anajar and Levine will help you to take back control of your life. Again, you'll always talk about your case with an actual attorney. They answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help you to take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Call Anajar and Levine, my accident attorneys. Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Take back control of your life.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Weekend coming up, week 5 of the NFL, week 6 of college football. Big weekend of college football next weekend. A lot of teams on bye, but nonetheless, a couple interesting matchups. Of course, Oregon, Michigan State in Eugene tonight. On top of that, UNLV, the story with Matt Sluka leaving the program due to NIL dispute. They taking on Syracuse at home tonight, 9 p.m. on FS1. That's also an interesting game.
A lot of people think that they're going to be the Group of 5 team, even without Sluka.
Yeah, because they kicked the crap out of Fresno State last week. They're now 4-0.
I still think Boise.
I agree. I think it's Boise's to lose. But that UNLV, I think they're playing with a little bit of mojo, too.
Yep.
theme is that has been the theme of them.
Well,
but
now,
are they going to run out of gas now?
I feel like they rallied around that whole Saluka situation.
And now
too, probably,
when
right?
the dust settles there,
Yeah.
when everything kind of calms down a little bit, and you're playing a pretty good team in Syracuse, how are you going to handle it?
And we got that tonight?
That's at 9 p.m.
Okay. Yeah, Kyle McCord, former Ohio State quarterback, by the way, slinging it for Syracuse. You've seen his numbers? Pretty good. I think he might, if he continues to play that way, Colin, he might be like a third or a fourth round pick and have a cup of tea with another. I'm telling you, dude, he's slinging it. And I'm not surprised. I just thought there was too much pressure on him last year. With that team, Maserati, Marvin Harrison, everyone watching. Let's not get it twisted, though. He single-handedly blew the Michigan game. Yeah. He threw an interception early in the game, which turned into 7.
Ohio State needs a star. They don't need a game manager. They need a star.
And Colin, I think this is the thing no one wants to talk about in Buckeye Nation. I don't think Will Howard is a star. I think he is more closer to Kyle McCord than a C.J. Stroud or a Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Sucks, dude.
I
think that's what will hold us back.
Ohio State, is it a matter of do they need a star? Or like Michigan's the one that needs a game manager, essentially. But Ohio State sort of needs a star because they have so much talent on the outside.
Yeah, with Igbuka, with Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. I mean, everywhere you look, there's a 5-star receiver.
Yeah. Interesting. Are you nervous in any sense that Ohio State is going to drop a game, whether it be to Oregon or Michigan?
I'm definitely afraid to play Oregon. I'm definitely afraid to play Penn State. I can't believe I'm saying that. I don't know how Will Howard is going to react when the pressure is on. Does that make sense, Colin? The pressure has not been on for the Buckeyes yet. The pressure was on a tad bit against Michigan State when they were up 3-0 and it was 3rd and whatever, and he threw an interception on the sideline. And he should have threw another interception in the back of the end zone. Thank God the Michigan State player dropped it. The Buckeyes score on 4th down. So, and lastly, I know we're talking a lot about the Ohio State. Lastly, okay, the defense got a lot of takeaways against Michigan State. But Sparty, on all those takeaways, they crossed midfield and they were going in for points. Colin, I think a team like Oregon, with a good offense and one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Dylan Gabriel, that's 7, bro. So that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about.
It's on the road. They don't not comfortable with that type of road trip. It's nothing familiar to them. I think you might see that.
If the Buckeyes lose to Penn State and Oregon and beat Michigan, I don't think they go to the Big Ten championship, and I don't think they get into the playoff. They have to win one of those games, and they can't lose any others.
Penn State will have that bid.
Yeah, and Penn State's got to go to USC still. We'll see what happens there.
But they have an easier schedule.
Exactly. We put the Buckeyes will put their destiny in other teams in the Big Ten in their hands. And then all of a sudden you don't have a good win. They must win one of those games. And they can only afford to lose one of those games. They got to split.
Florida State, home against Clemson tomorrow.
That spread's low. 14.5. I would hammer Clemson. I'm honestly upset we didn't take Clemson. Did we take Clemson?
No, we did not.
I'm upset we didn't take Clemson.
It's a popular pick.
I don't know what that's probably why.
Well, it's probably why we didn't pick them. I honestly don't remember talking about this, so I'm not sure.
We talked about it.
Skipped our mind.
We talked about it with Fat Jack, and I talked about it with our.
And he liked Clemson.
Yeah, he did, and I talked about it with our program director and boss Brian Rowitz, who's a Florida State fan. He goes, Riz, I agree with Fat Jack. That spread is low, so maybe we missed out on the boat.
They just lost 42-16 to SMU.
I'm interested. Do you? And I'm sorry to put you on the spot here. Do you have their picks? I want to see who they pick.
Yes, I do have
their
please,
picks. While you pull them up, I'm interested to see where their head's at this weekend. Because I'd be shocked if we didn't see that game.
They went big NFL this week, so they got their
that's
lock.
good for us. Hang on, that's good for us.
Yeah, they took the Saints as their lock plus 5.5 against Kansas City.
Wow, that's a howler. That's a howler.
They took the Ravens minus 2.5.
I said, that's in Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Watch Cincy win that game.
Yeah, you got to
watch
split.
Cincy
You're
win that
about
game.
A split. Browns plus 3.
I hate it, so that's good for us.
Texans plus 1.
Remember, I told you I like the Bills.
Yeah, okay. They took Michigan State, that's tonight, plus 23.5.
Oh, God.
I don't hate that one.
Against Oregon?
I don't hate
Where
that
is
one.
it?
It's in Eugene, but it's tonight.
Oh, man.
Something's weird about a Friday night game.
We're going to get, Eugene's going to.
You think they're going to pound them?
Blow the doors off.
I don't know.
We'll be, I'll put it up on our laptop when we have some time for high school tonight. But, yeah.
You like that one?
I like Oregon. I like Oregon to cover that spread.
Easy. Okay, interesting. All right, I'm surprised by that.
I mean, let's put it for face value.
I wouldn't take it, but
What did the Buckeyes win by? They won 37-7. They won by 30.
Yeah.
So if Oregon, and they won on the road, if Oregon is on the level of the Buckeyes, I think they should easily win that game.
Anything can happen, but I understand. It's a matter of catching them on an off night.
Right, but I like that they took plus 28.5. I like it.
They took Arkansas plus 13.5 home against Tennessee. Tennessee off a bye. Arkansas dangerous, but also not coming off a bye.
I kind of like that pick in a sense of, remember when Nico I went to Oklahoma? Colin, they settled for a lot of field goals. He played well. He had a touchdown in the game, but they weren't able to get into the end zone.
Yeah. Arkansas might be a little dangerous, but so we'll see. I don't hate that one either, but Tennessee off a bye. Maybe they're going to
I like 2 out of the 3 of their college picks. Colin, I don't like any of their NFL picks.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I don't like, and maybe that'll be the difference if they do better than us, because I don't like any of the NFL teams.
What we're talking about is our punchline picks, where Mike and I and Russo and Rizzo will go against, theoretically speaking, Theo Dorsey and Christian Catt 2v2. We're as a group, we make 6 picks a week. One is a lock worth double. It has to be a mix of college and the NFL, and we're going to track our record throughout the entire season. And the losers have to go out and give a stand-up routine at a comedy club that is yet to be announced. And the records of both of us right now sitting at 12 and 16 on the year. So their picks, of course, Saints plus 5.5, Ravens minus 2.5, Browns plus 3 against the Commanders, Texans against the Bills plus 1, Michigan State at Eugene, Oregon tonight taking on the Ducks plus 23.5, and Arkansas, of course, taking on Tennessee at home. Tennessee is coming off a bye plus 13. So that's interesting. And our side of things, just to revamp everybody, is we took the Patriots as our lock against the Miami Dolphins minus 1. I thought this was a layup, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe betting on the Patriots is not a good idea. Giants upset of the week plus 6.5 at Seattle. Like that.
I think I don't like
New York Mojo. New York Mojo. Buy in.
The problem is Neighbors is out, and I probably wouldn't have taken it. And I guess that's why we're not professional gamblers. I probably wouldn't have taken it if I knew Neighbors was out, but who knows, Colin? Who knows?
Cowboys plus 2.5 Sunday Night Football at Pittsburgh. Like that pick too.
Love this one.
So we're riding with Ohio State, of course. They're taking on Iowa.
19.5 at home at the Shoe.
Navy's at Air Force. Navy's been good all year. Minus 10. Air Force stinks. I know it's an Armed Forces Bowl, so those are always get tricky, but I like that.
Couple of people hooting and hollering a bit that one of the Armed Force Academies could be a college football playoff team this year in the group of 5.
Yep. Toledo, minus 6.5. There's our MAC pick.
This was our MAC pick. 6.5. We're trusting in the Maumee River, the Miami Redhawks. Okay, if you want to tail us on this, hear me out. The Miami Redhawks only beat UMass by 3. Okay, UMass is awful. One of the worst programs in the country. Give me Toledo, who's angry that they blew the game at Western Kentucky after hey, Colin, you listening? After a 3.5-hour weather delay, being up 2 scores.
You need a bounce back here.
I like it.
Okay.
That's theme. That's mojo.
Padres general manager A.J. Preller has officially announced that Joe Musgrove has a UCL injury in his throwing elbow, will need Tommy John surgery, so he's going to be out for the remainder of this playoffs. He's going to be out for the entirety of next year, and it will be remains to be seen whether he'll be prepared for 2026.
I'm not a Musgrove guy. I told you that before. I don't think
Mike, I just told you that he's not going to pitch for the next 18 months. You're not a Musgrove.
But a lot of people are saying, a lot of people are going, this is going to be detrimental to the Padres. I don't think that this is...
the guy's not going to play for the next 18 months. Give the guy a break.
But all right, I guess it was in poor taste. All right, I hope he gets okay. I know he's a great person. Yeah. But hear me out on this. The reason I said that was a lot of people are going, now the Padres don't have a big 3 at the starting pitching rotation. I don't think that matters. I think they're a hot enough team right now. I know we hoot and holler about theme and mojo here, but that's what they are. The Padres and the Mets have that. The Detroit Tigers, they have that. So you still got Michael King. You still got Dylan Cease. I think they're fine.
I still think they're okay as well, but Musgrove has seen a lot of success with the Padres so far. He had a good year last year. This year is a little bit more up and down. Nonetheless, he needs UCL surgery. He will be out for the foreseeable future. Here's a stat for you as well. Mets last night averaged 4 million viewers, peaked at 5.7. in that Met Brewer game last night. Game 3, the highest-rated wild card matchup under the new format and the highest-rated ESPN property MLB game since 2021. Football did 12.3 million on the ratings. That's a great rating for baseball.
It is.
For a Mets, the little brother franchise of New York with the Brewers, which is not a big franchise.
I mean, that outdid a couple of finals games, NBA finals games.
Absolutely.
You know?
And MLB does well when you give a good product. They're going to do a good rating. I root for the MLB to get good ratings, but people tune in when there's baseball worth tuning into.
Guys, I would rather 10 days on Sunday, 10 days on Saturday. I rather watch baseball than basketball right now. It's not even close. It's not even close for me, honest to God.
College hoops, big game, might be a different story for me, but I'm
talking NBA. I'm sorry. Specifically NBA. I am a college basketball.
Good for the Mets. Good for ESPN there. They did a good rating. And there was a football game direct in competition with that on Amazon Prime, and they still did 5.7. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. They're
MLB's got to be happy about that.
They're running home with that. You're telling me 12 million people turned into Amazon?
Tuned in. And they get like 15 million last week.
That's why, dude. Like, that is exactly why the NFL is bulletproof, as you call it. Yeah. It doesn't matter what it's on.
And it's weird because the Sunday game 4:00 is that's the death one. That's the best one they got. That they do 28 million a week, and it's absurd how much the ratings the NFL gets. And they did a good game. It was on Amazon Prime. 12 million people. It's usually 15, but that tells you that people tuned into the Mets. Give you that. Good for the MLB.
They paywalled it. You paywall it, and
people will pay. People will pay. It's a Friday edition of Russo and Rizzo. Sending you over to the weekend. No Christian Cat behind the glass. You can hear him next on ESPN West Palm High School Game Day. Joaquin Garcia taking on Wellington. You'll hear me as well starting at 6 with the pregame up until all the way to the postgame at 11. Catch up on YouTube tonight with Cade Chumsland, myself, Brian Roth. We'll be breaking down the area high school sports games, giving you a full rundown of what happened in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast. You can hear me and Cade Chumsland, the aforementioned Cade Chumsland, on Sunday Huddle. Early one, 8 a.m. on Sunday, previewing the NFL slate, going right up until 9:15. Then you're going to hear Jets-Vikings. Thanks to Mike Rizzo for filling in for C-Cat behind the glass. He'll be with us, too, in the next couple hours. You'll see us back on Monday. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
It's your boy JC. We got a developing situation. Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, trying to come to the Dolphins. We